you have
You're
a
not
link
a.
to the stream, actually?
That's because he got shot in the trailer.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. You still licking
I
those
got
wounds.
pinged at night. I was like, "Hey, Kev, you got shot in a new Stalker trailer." And I'm like, "Oh, damn, great."
It was
It's
literally
also
your
in my
your
Discord
costume to
profile
a
picture
T.
now.
It was so bad. I was like, my dude, poor guy, can't catch a break. Wait 16 years for the game. Main character blasts him.
Yeah, they don't like me, I think.
Strider was just mad. He's like, yo, PapaKev makes too many good meme videos. Now you got to make a meme video dunking on Strider now for shooting you.
I actually should, yeah.
play that music they play in the commercials when it's like adopting cats and dogs and it's all sad and they do the black and white in the arms of an angel. It's like for $1 a day you can protect PapaKev from mindless monolithian exploits. Protect our boy in the north.
I should just go like boot up Call of Pripyat and then actually shoot him there.
Kev's Revenge. When are we getting Kev's Revenge, dude? I want this Strider trailer part 2, Kev's Revenge.
Oh man, that's actually really tempting to make.
Oh my god, it'd be so sick. I'm just like spitballing this, and I'm like, oh wait, these are actually some really interesting fucking meme ideas. I think we might need to do a collaboration video. So good. Oh, what's up, everybody? Welcome up into the chat. We got the legends with us today. We got the PapaKev back, everybody, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, yo.
Y'all remember him. And we've got the AnomalousDugout, a regular legend
Hello.
in this community.
Yeah, I guess so. Some people say that at least.
Eternally
I'm not
humble.
sure.
Eternally. All right. Well, I kind of just want to give the floor to Anomalous off the bat because he's got some stuff that he is ready to fire off and discuss, and I think we're all ready to bounce off of those ideas.
All right, so you just wanna start like this, okay? Well, I've got a bunch of stuff written down about the Strider trailer, of course. I already made my video about it. However, it was kind of rushed because I was expecting something more to come at TGA, so I had to finish it before.
Same,
So
brother.
I have other stuff. I have other stuff that about the trailer that I did not put into the video, and actually I think there's even enough to do a second video. But I'm gonna tell you everything about it right now. Um, but where to start? Um,
Yeah, we really
okay,
did get
so
robbed at TGA. I'm just saying.
yeah. I mean, we will also talk about it, I guess. But about
If
GSPs,
anyone, I mean, you were there, Anomalous. Anyone who was on my stream, that was rough.
yeah. I mean, waking up at 1 a.m. to watch the entire thing, it was kind of rough, yeah. But anyway, one thing, I guess I'll just get into the thick of things then. Um, one interesting thing about the Strider trailer, like a very small detail, is that, Strider spoke about his years-long coma, right? And that echoes something he already said in Call of Pripyat. In his dialogue, he said that several years of his life were gone. So basically, the brainwashing was for several years, right? And I kind of kept thinking about this because in the timeline, it's kind of strange. Um, so we know that the brainwashing was broken when basically the day Strelok disabled the brain scorcher, right? So
Right.
that's at the end of Shadow of Chernobyl. Considering Call of Pripyat takes place, I mean, starts on August 3rd, 2012. Uh, So
Not to
the
interrupt
day
you,
of
but because there is a gap between Operation Fairway and the end of Shadow of Chernobyl, right? I didn't think about it till later after I watched the
yeah,
trailer, but those are
yeah,
not the
and
same dates actually.
yeah, there is a gap definitely, but we don't exactly know how long it is, and that's actually an interesting topic to talk about. How long do the games take place in the lore? Like how much time does it take Strelok to start from the cordon and go all the way to the end? You know.
Mm.
But so we can speculate that basically in July 2012 the brainwashing was broken, right? And it's actually in Clear Sky that the Monolith faction first appears as brainwashed, because uh, basically the origin of the Monolith faction is that they were stalkers who believed in the monolith, but they were not brainwashed originally. They were just like stalkers who believed that there was a monolith at the center of the zone. And so one day they decided to pack their shit and go there to see if it was really the case. And after that, they disappeared, and they only came back during the events of Clear Sky, brainwashed, and now like defending the center of the zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Clear Sky happened in September 2011. So if we say that the monolith came back shortly before Scar wakes up from the emission, let's say, I don't know, August, that makes like 1 year gap between them coming back brainwashed and
Did they did
the
is there
ending
no
of the brainwashing in
encyclopedia?
Shadow of Chernobyl, right?
Is there no encyclopedia entries that help establish between Call of Pripyat and Shadow of Chernobyl, like what the timeline is for like Strider's group that woke up?
Not really, no. Not
Okay.
really. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that there's there's basically 1 year between the monolith coming back brainwashed and the brainwash being broken, the brainwashing being broken. So that doesn't really fit the idea of several years or like years long coma, as Strider said. But we also know that when doing their first trip to the center of the zone, the Monolith faction disappeared for some time, but we don't know how long it was. So it would have to be at least a year, like them disappearing for a year to make at least 2 years, to say several years, And that begs the
Mm.
question, what the fuck did they do in 1 year at the center of the zone? Like, what did they do during this time? What
Yeah.
happened?
Was that like a precursor for something? Was there like another project going on? Like, yeah, like what were the catalysts for these events?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's just something I noticed that has been going on in my mind about the lore. Like in the timeline, it's kind of strange, and I don't have answers to this. So I don't know. Maybe we will never learn about it. Maybe it's a mistake from the developers. I don't know, but
Well, Da Vinci makes a chat point here. He says that Strider says he felt like it's not like meant to be taking literal.
yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah, that's also true. Maybe it's just the feeling he has. Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah, it's
because
could
just
be
like an
the
entire
because
blank
feeling
feeling.
could be the entire statement. It could be like the coma portion over like a long stretch of time, maybe not literally that much time, but yeah,
yeah, it
it's
could
hard to
definitely
get
be.
a timeline established. I mean, like we know Stalker 2 is 10 years at least since the events
Yeah,
of the previous trilogy. And that's kind of it. Like
yeah, and
why in
or
all that time did nothing happen and now all of a sudden there's well, I mean, this would
oh that's actually also
yeah,
a
I was
pretty
like,
nice topic.
it's gonna get into the other implications and story topics there about like what Strider's talking about, like why he's there with Skiff. Because I said in my video, I'm pretty sure they're gonna reactivate the Scorcher, like theoretically. Um, but like
Yeah,
why?
but it's
Why? There's so many questions because everything seems like it doesn't make sense for any of the implications of like what Skiff is supposed to be doing.
yeah, but like the gap between the previous games and Stalker 2 is actually a pretty big deal as well, as you said.
Yeah,
Like
it's quite massive actually.
because at the basically at the end of Call of Pripyat, the brain scorcher is disabled. The military now knows how to operate their helicopters without crashing them. They have the knowledge of Strelok. Like there's nothing basically stopping them from taking control of the center of the zone. But I'm pretty sure in Stalker 2 we will see that the center of the zone is not under control because that would be kind of disappointing. Like the
Yeah, it
whole
would.
point of Stalker is to discover the center of the zone that is untamed. So I don't
Well,
know what the fuck
maybe
they
that
did
brings
during
like the
all this
generators
time.
into question because they're obviously more
Yeah.
of a major plot point for the sequel now. So it's not really just the reactor as far as like the mystery and the build up. And then I'm wondering if they're going to retcon and say like the generators were always there. And obviously like we know it used to be cut content. So it's kind of like background lore where at any moment it could instantly become canon just by being referenced. So I feel like they could easily do something like that. Or at the same time it could prove to be like a much bigger plot point.
Yeah, and I'd like to remind that I saw the generators when I played the demo in one of the loading screens.
Oh my god, I
So
thought you
like
were gonna
the
say
Oh
in Event
damn.
Horizon or some shit. I was about to be
no
like,
no I mean we talked about it last time, but I saw the generators, but it was it looked like the cut version. Not exactly the same, but it looked like the cut version, not the version that was actually released. So I don't know. Maybe it was just an artwork that they used, like placeholder or something else. Who knows?
they could be changing the design of the generators behind the scenes a lot. We really have no way of knowing like what the final aesthetic of
Yeah.
that will be yet.
Yeah, or it could be a different location that also has similar generators. Like a
Holy
backup,
shit! Yeah,
maybe they had
two
backup
generators
generators,
areas now.
or
There's a
I
wild
don't
ass
know.
idea.
I mean, in Clear Sky, when they were developing Clear Sky, they were planning of getting using back the old generators, despite the fact that it was already cut from Shadow of Chernobyl. So that's kind of strange.
Seems like they always
But
wanted to bring it back,
then
but
they
it never
cut it
fit.
again. Yeah, but if they really want to, they will find a way. I'm pretty sure.
They seem adamant to do it this time.
It's a cool concept that they would
Yeah.
revisit that in Stalker 2, I think.
Now I want to know because Da Vinci had pointed out in that flashback scene when you look at like the Duga in the background, like it looks like
We should
geographical
talk
points
about
have gotten moved
miscellaneous
around.
things like low ready,
Oh
pickup
yeah, that
animation,
was one of my
teeth
points
system.
actually. That you
Also,
can
about the
see
date, the
from
15th
the
of
in this
February
scene. You can see quite a lot
2024,
of
it's STEM
stuff in the
54.
zone, like the overview. So yeah, as you said, the Duga radar seems to have been moved compared to the E3 gameplay trailer. Like it was, I think it was pushed further to the west. I would say,
I think,
and
I,
turned around as
yeah,
well. Right?
in E3, the right next to Duga was on the left, and then it got moved over to the right. I think in Strider trailer.
Yeah, and it was like rotated as well. No, like
Yeah, geographically, like yeah, where it is on like the horizon
the
line
big
is
and
moved
there's a
around.
big antenna and a smaller antenna, and
That's weird, you know. And
yeah.
my schizo prediction to something like that would be they're in the final optimization stages right now, and they're probably really trying to get like the flow of the combat and like just the world and navigating and all, you know, just having everything like really dialed in. They might actually be making like massive changes to the way that the map flows. I will be really fucking curious to compare that once the game comes out to things that are already exist, because then we can actually have like some relative comparisons. But I'm so curious to see how this map is going to be laid out in retail.
Yeah, like honestly,
Hmm.
the map is the thing, like the first thing I'm gonna look at. Like once I get the game, first thing I do, open the PDA, look at the map. That's what I live for.
You're gonna be doing
Oh,
that for days, just reading through the entire PDA section.
oh
Wonder
yeah,
how
like
much
in
of
the
that
demo, I
map
had
pulls
to stop
from.
myself from. Like in the demo, the PDA had not much going on, but there was the inventory and there were item descriptions, and I had to stop myself from reading the item descriptions because it was not worth it. It was much better to actually play the demo, right? Use that limited time well, but yeah, I really wanted to read the descriptions of the items.
That moment you're pulled in 40 different directions because you're like, I have 15 to 30
Yeah,
minutes to do this. You're like, you just want to like soak it all up.
yeah. But yeah, I think the in the about the Duga radar that we can see from the rooftop of the CNPP. What's interesting is that it looks kind of far away because you can clearly see the antenna, but it's so massive that it's clearly quite far away. So it feels like it's not gonna be a location that is too close to the center of the zone. And that's interesting. That means like previously, perhaps it was available for stalkers like to go there because it's not like too close to the brain scorcher. I don't know. So that begs the question: what happened with this location in like during the previous games or like during the previous events, right?
Right.
Hmm.
I think one of the subtle things in the trailer that I'm really curious about is like, why is Korshinov so accusatory towards Skiff when he's talking about the puzzle? Because there's definitely an overtone of like a passive aggressiveness there, where I think it just seems like Skiff is withholding information from him, and we know there's going to be like a lot of branching narrative pathways and such. So that might even just be like one possible conversation of many, depending on like what you as the player choose to do. But I'm curious because they've shown so much of the ward, like when they tease the game overall, that it's such a critical piece of the story, and he's such a critical character, but we don't know shit about like what Korshinov wants.
Yeah, so that's actually a point that was discussed quite a lot in the comments under my video because I did not really explain why this scene takes place because I just don't know. Um, and a lot of people pointed out that probably, I don't know, Skiff must have done something. Maybe he's just a trespasser in the zone and got caught by the ward. Perhaps that's what's happening. But
Real
a lot
quick,
of people said
I want
that
to address this in chat. Krezen, you bring up a question that actually ended up being answered directly by GSE in an interview I saw a while ago. When you're talking about the theories of the Duga, I think it was right after they showed the Come to Me trailer. Somebody had an interview with GSE, and they were talking about the Duga, and they were like, you're bringing this back in a major way, kind of like since Clear Sky. Does it have some sort of like greater function or mystery to it? And believe it or not, you would think that the answer to that would have been yes. I'm pretty sure the gentleman at GSC was like, "Nah, it's cool. There's like something neat to discover there, but the radar itself doesn't have any sort of like crazy overt story meaning. And maybe that's like a subversion of expectations for us, and they're just like trying to throw us off course. But I just thought it was interesting that that question came up, and I thought that that was worth answering because I'm pretty sure that we had gotten like that straight answer that it's more of like a
yeah,
massive visual flair. So yeah,
yeah, I remember that.
sorry. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, it's fine. It's interesting. Yeah, I remember that interview. And yeah, I was kind of surprised by this answer. Like he basically said that Duga is there because it looks cool and it is not that relevant to the story.
Base
But
GSE.
I feel like it's definitely like a bait. Like
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
a
like
debate.
it's not gonna.
That's a hard
Yeah,
debate.
I think so. I think so. Um, yeah, so I was talking about Korshunov, and a lot of people said that he's disassembling the AK and then throwing it to Skiff because he's gonna ask Skiff to reassemble it and ask him questions at the same time, and that's basically an interrogation technique, so that
Ah,
Skiff has to focus on
the
building the
AK. He
AK
can't lie.
while answering the questions, so it's more difficult to lie. Yeah.
That's actually really smart. What the fuck? I like that theory a lot.
Yeah,
That's
I
really
think it
cool.
makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And also, it will show like if Skiff can actually rebuild the AK or not. Like if he's a fraud and doesn't know about weapons, or I mean, Of course, he will be able to do it, but I don't know. It looks like Korshunov is testing him.
We'll see Mosey. I still think it's a subversion of expectations because I mean they definitely threw that in the E3 trailer in a big way. Um, Speaking of the Korshinov scene, there is one thing we should discuss, and it is the legitimacy of a wild observation by Wolfie Brandon in the Discord because
Oh, yeah.
homie noticed that Korshinov's radio that sits on the table is tuned into the frequency 15.2. And if you happen to be a schizophrenic like us trying to figure out what the release date for this fucking game is, then you
No way.
might think that February 15th, 2024 is the date based on that subtle frequency. Which I mean, it's one of those things, right? Where it's like if it's wrong, it's like it feels like every cry wolf for GTA 6 in the past 10 years, where they're like, "Oh, I found these numbers in this restaurant, like written on a wall and like scratched. That's the release date. They're teasing it." And it's like, nah. Oh, but if it's correct, then holy what the fuck, that was a wild spot. But that does feel like it's up GSE's alley to put something in a trailer like that, where if you're because they know people are going to be looking between the lines for like every micro detail.
I really want that to be real. Holy moly.
Yeah, I want that to be real too.
And I mean, either either this number is just like in the actual game and it just got in the cutscene because they showed this specific scene, or it's definitely there for a reason, right? So I don't know, but it's definitely a nice theory. So actually,
What's your
it was
faith in it? Would you give it a 7 out of 10 for the hope?
actually Wolfie made um, how do you say a poll about it, and you could answer how much you believe it's real. And I think I answered between 50 and 75%, something like this.
Pretty high.
Yeah, I mean,
It is
can't be
Q1.
a
It
coincidence,
can't be.
right?
Yeah, it can't be. Like they're getting
I
to the
mean,
point
it
now.
fits so much into the Q1 narrative,
Yeah, it does. And that's the other thing is
but they
talking
gotta
about
show us more very soon.
for a release date. Like that's the biggest trailer. Like you're not gonna do the final release date in a story trailer. Like they might show us another story trailer, but whenever they show us that release date trailer, I feel like that one's gonna be a gameplay trailer. That's like the final, like this is the game that you're gonna play type trailer. I
Yeah,
think it's
they have
coming.
they
It's
have
coming
to.
on Christmas because I didn't really think we were gonna get that on TGA. That was too close. If they hadn't won the like most anticipated PC game award, which also fuck yes, I'm so happy they got that. Then I feel like maybe they would have had that trailer reserved for like a week later or so. Maybe they would have like released it coinciding with the show or something like that. Um, or maybe not. Like who knows? The one thing that is ridiculous is last TGA we at least got 2 seconds of the rib anomaly. I got something out of my 3.5 hours. I got 1.32 seconds of new gameplay footage, and all I got this year was 1.21 seconds of Bloodsucker E3 2021 footage. My disappointment was immeasurable, and my day was ruined. I mean, like, damn it! Like,
Yeah.
I wanted another tease. Like, they couldn't give me 2 seconds of tease. Like, this is killing me, man. I don't know what the marketing strategy is. I feel like it's so all over the place. Because whenever they show us something, it's so good. It's always like primetime material, and then it's just silence, and the silence is louder than when they do speak sometimes. Jesus.
Blue ball anomaly.
Yeah, like I mean, we know like Q1 is more and more cementing. Like the fact that we have two trailers with Q1 is like,
Mhm.
oh wow, they kept the same date the closer they got, and we're like right on top of it. It doesn't feel exactly like it did when we were like 2.5 months away from the April release date. And we had like no trailers. We had no trailers, and they're like, "It's coming," and we're like, "No, it's not." Like everybody knew that it wasn't coming. Like I believe the game is coming, but That's why I'm even more convinced that at the end of this month we're gonna get like the big bang gameplay trailer that's gonna just like put everything to rest as far as like, is this even a real game? What's it actually gonna look like? Like it's at that point where you've got like what, like one last month of polishing. At that point you're doing like, the really weird odd stalker bug fixing and stuff. It's nothing that's gonna stop you from putting a really bitchin' trailer together where it's like, okay, we can afford to show 2 minutes of like gameplay straight without having it be like plucked apart or glitchy. You know what I mean? Like if you're ready to release the
Mm-hmm.
product and it's solid, and Anomalous himself will tell us because he played the demo that it was wicked and it was really polished and smooth. So
It
if you were to
was.
take like random 10 seconds of like different parts of your gameplay demo, Spartan Mosey could make a trailer for it in 2 hours. Like we could have more material if like they wanted to give it to us. So I feel like they don't because they're trying to retain the mystery, because that is like a huge part of the story and the draw. And if every time they show us something, they know that we just like swallow that shit up completely. Like even the Strider trailer, we're already like connecting dots, and I'm sure that they like to see that people are interested in paying attention, but it just feels like Rockstar Games where they're like they wait until they have the game in your hands for you to really see what it's all about, and it's just faith riding until then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean everything you said makes perfect sense, but it doesn't seem GSC is using common sense to do their marketing. So I don't know. I'm not
Whoosh.
I'm not I'm not convinced we're getting a trailer before the end of the year.
Second.
Hold on, I need more copium. I'm huffing that copium straight.
I don't know. GSC works in mysterious ways.
No shit, they really do though. Recent articles. Ooh, yeah, that's a good point. There were some like interesting recent
But yeah, the Chinese interview.
Da Vinci, link me that article. I'm gonna pull that up real quick because there's a few bullet points from that I want to talk about. Because I think they actually went into some really good gameplay details.
You
Anybody say
guys
10
talking about
seconds?
copium? I
Yeah.
might actually have something. It's
Jeez.
related to like a video I'm doing, I guess. But that's all I'm going to show.
Yes. Oh, is that part the monolith wave?
I don't know. Maybe.
I'm still waiting. I'm excited.
I haven't really had the time, but it's not dead yet. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, you're still recovering from that sniper injury. It's understandable.
Not talking about the sniper end. Not on stream, please.
Don't worry about it.
It's like the
I'm sending
first
blue and
time.
yellow med kits. Stat. Have
It's
them up
like
from
the
the
first
coordinate.
time. It's like the first time I see like my favorite suit in game and it just gets shot. It's so typical.
I wish I could have saw your reaction when you were watching that trailer and saw that moment. You must have been like, "Ah, mother."
Yeah, I got pinged that night. I was like, "Hey, Kev, you got shot in the trailer." It's like, "Oh, great. Show me, please."
All right, so we'll go through some of the bullet points of the Chinese interview article is the most recent one, referring to the build that they've been shopping around from the different Gamescom events. And like best thing ever is having Anomalous on here with like firsthand experience, because I can just be like, well, he fucking played it and he says that this was good, and if it was good enough for him, it's good enough for me. Because if there was anything that like really stood out, I feel like you would have noticed that, especially because you were focusing on the game and you weren't like focusing on like the over technicals. Because if you were, because then everything stands out to you. You know what I mean? Like if I was sitting in front of the demo, I would be like,
Yeah.
oh, interesting. Like you can tell this is in progress. Like none of that shit would have mattered. If you as a player just sit down and play the game and nothing stands out as jarring, good. That's good. That means that it's good enough to not draw your attention away from the things that are immersing you. Um,
Yeah.
so the question in the first question in this article was the content and the version of this demo that was played in Chengdu, was it the same that was played at the Cologne show in Germany? And they said yes. The only difference is that repairs and image quality adjustments were made, but it is the exact same content. So that means that um, everything that we saw from that original show that was, having lukewarm demo reception where people were saying it was like really glitchy or unstable or crashing, kind of like the experiences that Lennox had. It's the same exact demo that Anomalous played with a completely different outcome. So like the
Yeah.
optimization phase is real right now, and like we're seeing and feeling the effects of it like firsthand. So if it's not going through like massive content swings, but it's in a polishing point, I'm super confident, and I'm hoping that I'm not putting any crazy universal energy out there. But I'm gonna go against an El Perro prediction and say that it's gonna come out in Q1 and not another year from now. Like it doesn't feel like anything too crazy like that is gonna happen. Like especially because of that interview that you had firsthand with them for 30 minutes that pretty much reinforces that. So like everything that they're telling us says like, yeah, the game's about to be here, but we're just waiting for that juicy gameplay. And then interestingly enough, the demo had a checkpoint system. And that is usually something that
Yeah.
you're going to find in a later point of development. So checkpoints, I don't think that is too spicy of a feature for Stalker, because let's be real, who the fuck doesn't save scrub? Like it doesn't matter. Like if anything, I like checkpoints more. When I get really comfortable with a Stalker game, at that point, I'll even just do make believe campfire saves, where like I just pick a point where I'm like, okay, I have to go to like a bar or any safe zone, and then I can save the game. That way, it makes it feel like I have to like plan for my expedition, because I can't scrub my way through it. So checkpoints are good. That's obviously just going to be like a nice quality of life improvement. Anomalous, can you confirm that you had
Uh,
checkpoints when you were playing?
yes, I can. But I died only once, unless like counting the death at the very end from the emission. And yes, there was a checkpoint, but I'm pretty sure in the interview they asked about it, and the developer said it's only for the demo. Because at the beginning there was like at Gamescom, this checkpoint system was not implemented, and when you died, you had to restart the whole thing, which was really not good because you were losing time. So I'm pretty sure it's only for the demo, and in the final game it will be the same save system as in the previous games. And
Yeah,
honestly, when I
they
played,
confirmed that
I
the same save system is going to be
yeah.
back, but it doesn't negate that. Like, I mean, come on, bro, it's a 2023 game. Like, autosaves are going to be in this bitch. Let's be real. Like, if you go and pick up a quest
Yeah,
from somebody and your journal gets updated, that's going to be an autosave. Like,
yeah, I
it just is
mean,
what it is. I like that though. That's good, especially if you do have bugs, because if you have to reload
yeah,
a save, you don't want to have to think about the last time that you quick saved, and you might have, lost like a combat encounter or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah, because they did confirm in this article that class of saves are back. I don't think that was ever up for question or debate as far as like if that's coming back or not. But like the
yeah,
the too long didn't read is thank God for auto saves. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, exactly. Like I didn't even think it was not going to be there. Like when I played the demo, I noticed that I had this checkpoint, and it didn't even occur to me for a second that this would be how it will be actually in the game, and that there won't be a save system. And also, we had some autosaves in Call of Pripyat on top of the autosaves you get from when you travel from location to location. But since Stalker 2 is going to be open world, we won't have these traveling autosaves anymore.
You
Unless
think it'll
they
be
unless
less
they
saves
unless they
coming?
flag them by zone. Well,
Oh yeah,
pun
that
not
could be.
intended, because it's such a big map that if you were traveling over large periods, it may not be something that's shown on the front end to the player, but the game may like recognize that like once you move into like a certain block of like the map to trigger an autosave because you've traveled X amount of distance. So, you know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, the player's covered X amount of distance. It's probably a good idea to throw them a quick save, especially if the world is so dense and you're running into so many dynamic
Yeah.
encounters and stuff. Death is around every other corner, especially when you're dealing with anomalies. It would actually be kind of annoying if I'd rather think and focus on playing the game and not having to think about like which tree I'm going to set up a clean F5 save behind, because we all know what happens when you quick save right before you die and you don't realize that you're going to die. You think you're safe, you go to quick save, you didn't realize that someone just threw a grenade at you, and now every time that you quick load, the fucking grenade keeps going off. Who hasn't played Fallout 4? But it's shit like that I think having a smart autosave or quick save or yeah, autosave system, that's a good thing. But unless
Yeah.
it's like a hardcore mode, then I'm sure that they'll implement something where you have to be at like a very particular place like a campfire to get a good save in.
Yeah. And I can guarantee you're gonna die fast in Stalker 2. Like, I did not really expect to die in the demo, but I actually died once. I got completely caught by surprise by the bandits because you are told that they are at the boiler, right? So I'm like working there, expecting them to be like at the boiler, not on the road waiting to ambush me. So
I
that's
think you
how
had
I died.
mentioned that when you were in combat, like even before dying, you were talking about like you had to go through bandages quite a bit, right? Because you were losing health fast. It's not like you were losing tiny bits of the block. You were talking about like the bar was flying down.
Is that a
I'm not
Clear Sky
sure,
reference?
but basically, yeah, you're gonna die as fast, just as fast as in the previous games.
Da Vinci throwing shade at you, saying skill issue.
Yeah, I mean, probably, but I was okay. No, I'm not even gonna argue. I could,
Yeah,
throw excuses.
he's like, all right, here's a 30-minute lore retort video on why how I died was lore accurate.
Yeah, honestly, I could, but
Hello and welcome back to the Anomalous Dugout, and this is why getting shot kills you.
We get like an entire medical procedure like about
Yes.
like lead poisoning.
Why bullets
no,
do the
but
amount of damage they do compared to other games? Let's go. The deep dive. The one that we never asked for but we deserve.
no, but basically, like, even if Stalker 2 did feel a lot like the original games, there's still so much time and technology separating them that at the beginning I was kind of like my older bits from playing Shadow of Chernobyl did not translate that well.
The reflexes betrayed you.
Uh, yeah, I mean, there were some things that didn't translate. Like, I don't know. For example, you couldn't move around when the inventory or the PDA was open. I'm pretty sure they're gonna change that. But that's something I always do in the OG games,
Yeah, because
like
the inventory doesn't take up like all of the screen. You
working
still
with the
you
inventory open or the PA. But you couldn't do that in the demo.
yeah, like you still have like a very low amount of awareness of your surroundings, but yeah, you could still move. So it still became like tactically viable, like especially if you were like crouched trying to move into cover, open the inventory real quick to use some items. Like I do hope that comes into retail. That is kind of important.
Yeah.
The one of the things that the article talks about, and I think it kind of complements what you're talking about as far as like old trilogy reflexes, um, is how they got into like this one particular dog encounter, and the dogs would get scared, by being fired upon, not even just being hit, and that there's a lot of dynamic behaviors. Like if you were aiming or looking at one of the dogs, they wouldn't directly attack you, but the moment that you went to focus on another one, whichever one you weren't aiming at, immediately would like leap at the player. So it seems like there's definitely more of like a cutthroat engagement because that doesn't on the surface that doesn't seem wildly different from like how the dogs behaved in the original trilogy, but it kind of is when you actually like look deeper into it because the dogs in original trilogy they'll run in like weird ass figure eights and different odd patterns, but they never felt like they would hone in on you really quick and really lethal. They would close the ground, but then when they got on you, it was mostly just like you couldn't aim on them, and there were so many of them that that was your challenge. Whereas with this, it seems that they're gonna be on you like fucking white on rice, and I like the idea of that lethality going way up. Like, and mutants shouldn't be spending a whole bunch of time dancing with you on the screen. Like they're coming up to close the gap and kill you.
Yeah, definitely.
And you play, and when you were playing, you
And
had a number of dog encounters in the beginning before you had human
yeah,
NPC combat. How would you feel about those statements as far as like the dogs in classic versus now? Because I think when you had talked about this previously, you said that
yeah.
it felt like a
Honestly,
lot like trilogy,
yeah.
which is
I
which is
mean,
good.
I dealt with them the same way I would have done in the OG games, and it worked. And yeah, it definitely looked like they were moving the same way. But I think the AI for the dogs was already very good in the originals. Like, of course, it's not as advanced as they have described, as you just said, but they
Mm.
still like moved in packs and sometimes back down when they were like losing numbers and stuff. So it was already pretty advanced. And honestly, I had no doubt that they would even like go even further and improve on that. So for me, it was kind of a given, right?
What were the
But
sizes of those dog packs that you encountered? Was it like 3 dogs, 5 dogs, even more?
yeah, no less than five for sure. I mean,
No
there
less
was
than
the
5.
no more than five. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, holy shit.
Uh, yeah, no. I think like there's the first pack of dogs that attack Zorik, and there's like maybe three or four of them. And yeah, I encountered another one, and yeah, maybe like four or five, but yeah, I didn't encounter like huge packs. I mean, it's still the starting area, so.
Yeah,
And yeah, Zorik is back indeed, in case people
I'm
have
still
missed
waiting for
it. I mean,
Nimble.
if it's the same guy, it could be the same name, but not the same guy. But who knows?
You mean to tell
But
me that there's
I,
not only one Dimitri in the zone? Everything I know is changing.
but I'm pretty sure they said that. I'm pretty sure they said that every mutant, actually, like every different mutant species, will have a very specific AI and very specific behavior. And that was kind of already the case in the previous games, but that's gonna be really good. Like every mutant is unique and will need different strategies to be defeated. Like just like in the orgies, but even better. I think that's what I expect.
Two things from this article that I think are pretty noteworthy to bring up. One I'm very excited for, and that's the fact that like the campfire jokes are super focused and expanded on this time around. Like a lot of them in the English version are just still in Russian. You can't really understand them.
Yeah.
They're just lost on that audience. It is what it is. Whereas this time around, they talked about focusing on having more of that and having more of the jokes and not just having more of a volume of them, but translating them into all of these local languages and actually trying to get the context and original meaning of those jokes to convey through. That's like a lot of work. That's tricky. So, props to them because that's really hard to get a lot of the nuance for very localized
Yeah.
jokes like that to translate into a different language. So, props to them for even trying because either
Yeah.
way,
Imagine that's the actual reason the game is being delayed.
worth it. I'll wait
They need to make
happily.
they need to make the German jokes funny somehow.
Yep. So I'm excited for the campfire jokes. It seems like there's going to be more of four of them that are just not translated that I have to go online to watch an anomalous dugout video to get the final meaning of. And then the other thing that they talk about, and this is kind of a big one, is they talk a lot more about the stealth system, and they say that enemies are equipped with different armors, which okay, like in Gamma for example, that was like one of the big changes that they did where when you shoot character models, depending on where you shoot them, the armors is factored in. Where body shots don't do shit, exposed flesh shots do a lot more, and it's obviously not like super consistent because odds, but the idea of it is there. I'm really curious about that, what it means by different armors, because like I think it's not going to be like a generic armor bar. I think it's probably going to be one of those things where depending on the type of armor you take, you might be slower, lose stamina, have more protection. Like light, medium, heavy armors, because they haven't really discussed the implications of that yet. But the fact that it's not even just something that affects the player, but affects all the enemies that you're going to meet in the game is really interesting. Yeah, like
Yeah, definitely.
Stalker never had a robust stealth system, like all the way to the end of Call of Pripyat. Like, I'm really interested to see how they're going to balance the gameplay with stealth factoring in now. Because usually with stealth games, you could save scrub, and it's like you can exploit an area so that you never get hit once, and you know what I mean. And you go through and you just clean house, which it can almost suck. Like if I was like trying to go get Borov's key to go to Lab X18, like I know I'm gonna be in for like some tense hallway firefights. If I thought that all I had to do was just take like a USB compact with a silencer and then just clean everybody out one at a time and they won't notice each other, that's gonna suck. I'm not gonna be very thrilled about that. But if like it's very hard to get like a clean stealth run, maybe you kill a few guys and then the pathfinding for enemies in the area finds those bodies and now they're on full alert. You're still hidden, you're still in stealth, but it's not a walk in the park. Like you're actively being hunted. There's more dynamic behaviors that can take place. That I want. That's cool. That's the good way to do stealth. I just don't want to see stealth like shoehorned in a way that takes away from the impact of going loud with your regular standard firefight combat, if that makes sense. Because even the regular firefights in Stalker, like they're not super fast. This shit's not Call of Duty. They're like firefights they'll be loud and then they're quiet. You don't know if the enemy is stationary or trying to move around to flank on you. Like and you're listening for any sort of noises that they might make in the environment that give away their position. Like I like that. I don't want those elements of the combat to be neutered, if that makes sense. Because every time that they make a area in a game, they're trying to balance it for all the different like combat encounters. So that makes sense. That's like one of my own nervous apprehensions. I have no reason to be scared yet, but when I do see the gameplay, that's something that I'm going to be like having in the back of my head because we haven't seen anything regarding stealth.
You kind of wanted like the Metro Exodus kind of stealth, maybe in that case.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a level of odd, right, where it's like, okay, am I supposed to just believe that Skiff can go into like this fucking boiler camp and just like clean 12 guys all by himself without being seen? It's like it's a little too OP, and I get it. Like you're going through that fight encounter anyway and just shooting and killing everybody, but I don't know. It just loses its impact. Like, all right, here's a good example. If you're doing that and you're trying to do the stealth and kill the bandits, okay, well, this is Stalker. So the way that Stalker makes this unpredictable is while you're trying to handle the bandits and do your stealth routine, packs of dogs are coming nearby the building structure. And now you don't want to be spotted by the dogs. So now you got to like creep around trying to avoid the dogs and the guards just so that you don't get spotted, let alone handle anybody at that moment. Or maybe it's not dogs. Maybe another group of guys is coming to report into the boiler place. Like, you know what I mean? You just need more things happening in the world that you have to account and predict for. Because that's what makes Stalker special is it's very unpredictable. Like even if you play the first quest of Shadow of Chernobyl, every time you go in that camp, people are going to move around and shoot at you differently. It's not exactly the same thing every time. But if you play games like Far Cry and you do stealth, it is the same goddamn thing every time. Like you know exactly where you go, sit, boom, point and click, and it sucks. And there's no adrenaline pumping. There's nothing that puts me into a flow state where I'm like totally immersed and focused on the game.
You're just doing the checklist basically for the camps.
Yes, exactly. It's just standard camp clearing, and that's
what I actually really like about Shadow of Chernobyl and Call of Pripyat, that you have these random groups going about. Like even you do the main quest and then you just have like some freedom squad or duty squad in the center of the zone, just chilling around.
Yeah.
Like they could help you encounter stuff, or I don't know. They should really bring stuff like that back.
Dynamic
Definitely.
Events.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of obvious that they will do it. They know that it has to be this way. And I think, I'm pretty sure stealth is something that has been requested a lot. So they also, I think they also know that it's important to at least have some elements of stealth. And I actually think that stealth kind of works in the OGs. It's just that it doesn't work the same way as in other games. But you can actually stealth some sections of the game. There's actually a guy who makes videos about how to stealth the different sections. Like you can stealth, I think you can stealth the X labs, you can stealth the sarcophagus, you can stealth agroprom, like stealing the military documents. The guy's Horned Reaper, if you haven't heard of him.
Yeah, I know him.
So stealth in Stalker is possible. Yes, it's much more difficult than in other games because basically enemies are not dumb. and they will detect you as someone would detect you in real life, basically. The only thing I think which is broken about the stealth is that if you save and load this save, you get spotted. So you have to do the stealth without
Yeah,
saving and
that's
like
a
in
ending
one
thing.
go. That's the main problem I think with the stealth. And maybe they could make it that it's less hard because it's definitely very hard, but it's possible in
It's
the
super
OG
hit or
games.
miss. It's super hit or miss. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
silencers are on the guns, and it affects the ballistics of them more than it affects like the volume. Because like even when you're playing and it's like thundering and whatnot, like they still fucking hear you. Like and just the sound effects of like the heavy thunderstorm are so rigorous that it's like really, this guy's gonna hear my boots crunching the grass when like we're in the middle of like a 2 point 3 point storm. It's kind of ridiculous. Like I don't know. Like I yes, there is a form of stealth in the original trilogy, but I feel like those videos are more pointing out that like, hey, check it out, it's actually possible to even do this, rather than that was like a viable approach that any number of players actually like took upon themselves to go through with. That like because
yeah,
yeah, like the AI is just super. They're very sensitive to spotting you, and they'll know you're there at times when you know damn well they shouldn't know that you're there. And like there are aspects of realism to it, like or silencers in real life are not that quiet. So yeah, if like I shoot one guy and I'm like 5 to 10 feet away from the other guy, he's gonna hear the loud kathunk of of like the
Yeah.
weapon operating, you know, regardless of the round. Like and yeah, and I agree with you there. I think that like the trilogy did get that part of it more realistic. But even if I have the knife and I'm in like low crouch and I'm like trying to come up on this like one guy in the middle of the night and there's like no lighting or shadow, and like I go to like swipe and hit him in the back of the head and he goes and then like I'm dead, like, and it's ridiculous. And if he does manage to go down, then everybody else turns around inside the building. I haven't even gone in yet, and all I hear is on the cheeky breaky if dumpke, and it's like, okay, here we go. All right, now I pull my primary weapon back out. Like, yeah, that's all. I just hope that it's more fleshed out this time around. But it does have its place.
yeah.
I
And
agree that there's no way they could have made Stalker 2 with omitting stealth like altogether. Like
yeah,
that would not have been an option.
and people in the chart are mentioning the people in the chat are mentioning the white arc for the that we saw in
Spotting,
the
yeah, the
bolts and
stealth indicator
bullets.
in bolts and bullets, yeah,
Yeah, so that's kind
that
of
is good.
tied with the stealth
Yeah,
system.
we never had anything like that. There was never a visual indicator, like, and when an enemy spotted you, it was an on and off switch. It was a straight Boolean. It was like this motherfucker sees me or he doesn't. There was no gradual, radius bar and stuff like that. So someone might look at that and get nervous and be like, oh god, the Ubisoft has infiltrated my Stalker. But like if it's balanced correctly, then I don't think it's a problem. If
Man.
anything, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense because this game has told us, you know, over and over, GSC themselves, that like ammo is very scarce. Resources are very, very scarce. You're gonna have to probably lean into stealth because if there's like 12 guys and you have 4 bullets, well, I gotta strangle one or two of these fucking guys and take ammo off of them so I can even possibly finish a firefight with the rest that remain here. Like you have to have a form of stealth, otherwise you will get just cornered in the gameplay loop and it won't be able to function anymore. So
This
I
might be the first Stalker where you can actually stalk people in it.
first Stalker where you can stalk confirmed. That's I mean it's true though. So I think it has its place. Even it's you're gonna see those YouTube compilation videos. I promise you, like the Stalker 2 Super Stealth, where the guy just sprints through the camp doing like the bunny hops, and he's just like popping everybody with
Yeah,
like pure headshots. But I'll take it. I'll be the one making that video.
looking forward to it.
LMG is back.
I know what everybody's waiting for me to reattempt is a knife run. Still have flashbacks about that Gauss rifle guy in the CMPP. I don't know if I'm doing that one again.
Yeah.
Anomalous. Please continue. We just keep
Wall
sidebarring it.
ears.
Yeah, I have other stuff to talk about the Strider trailer, but so I don't remember if they said anything more interesting in the interview. But yeah, I can continue about the Strider trailer if you want. Um, we already talked about the Duga radar being changed a bit, like moved around. But we could also see the brain scorcher antennas in the trailer, right? And it also looks like it was rotated compared to how it was in Shadow of Chernobyl, because in the original, the antennas, like there's 5 antennas, right? And they were in a line like from north to south or south to north, either way. But in the trailer, in the Strider trailer, you can see the antennas aligned when looking directly south. So it means they're aligned from west to east or east to west, right? So they basically moved it, rotated it 90 degrees.
You think they recalibrated it? Is like part of the story? Like maybe they're
I
recalibrating the brain scorcher for some purpose, and that's why it like
no,
physically is rotated.
I don't think so because it's a flashback, right? So
Oh, it's just a
it's
retcon then.
probably just they reworked the location probably, or maybe I don't know. It's the angle that's kind of weird, but it just looks like they reworked the location, I guess. So that makes me wonder how, like, if other locations could be also rotated, because I know in the trailers I always take a look at the compass to see where the directions are, because that's important to identify locations. And for example, in the Bolts and Bullets, there's this like the very first scene, the location, like the sewer tunnel that Skiff is exiting. There's this I talked about it. There's this theory that it could be Dark Valley, but the compass didn't match. Like the position of the north didn't match with the real Dark Valley. But if they are actually rotating locations, uh,
Anything goes at this
it
point.
could. Yeah,
Hmm.
and actually, the orientation of locations in the previous games, I mean, they do matter, but maybe not as much as you'd think, because the position of the sun is completely fucked in the OG games. I don't know if you've noticed,
I've seen the video.
Yeah.
but basically, like the sun doesn't behave as it should.
It's the
So,
zone. It doesn't need to explain shit.
It's anomaly.
so
There are no bugs. It's just anomalies.
yeah, it's the sun anomaly. So that's one thing I noticed.
Sun anomaly. SCP-001 when day breaks level shit.
So I guess I can continue about this rooftop scene because there's some inconsistencies I noticed, or like it looks like
Oh
inconsistencies.
shit, GSE, you're getting audited right now.
So
Let's hear it.
basically, it looks like the flashback is taking place during Operation Monolith, right?
Hmm.
Like that's the military assault of the CNPP at the end of Shadow of Chernobyl. Basically, we think that because Strider mentions that it's the day the sea fields were turned off.
It did have that
Um,
chaotic energy, like it was that final rush, like when you're running to the sarcophagus.
yeah, I mean, everything's there. You've got the helicopters and everything. And there's actually someone who mentioned that one of the number, like
Because I swear, we see literally those exact
the
same events at the end of Shadow
the
Chernobyl.
helicopter
Like,
that gets shot down. Yeah. And there's someone that who mentioned that the helicopter that gets shut down in the trailer has a number that actually matches one of the military com dialogues in Shadow of Chernobyl. I'm not sure. I didn't really verify if that's true.
like the random radio chatter at the end, because you hear all kinds of shit through the
Yeah,
radio when you're running.
Yeah, and there's actually, if you translate the radio chatter, there's like really units with numbers and stuff that are talking with each
Yo,
other.
that's sick.
Yo.
That's sick. That's that
Uh,
part two video shit you just gave us. I can feel it.
apparently the helicopter that was shut down in the trailer had a number written on it that matches one of the choppers that was taken down in, like, you could hear in the comms that it was taken down.
That's the
So
level of detail
it's,
that gives me
I
so
mean,
much faith in the project as a whole. It's like, how
yeah,
did?
I don't know. I didn't
Yes,
verify,
that's so sick.
but yeah. So basically, we think it's basically 99% sure that this is Operation Monolith. Um, However, we can see that Strider, when he aims through his scope, is aiming at the area just in front of the entrance of the sarcophagus. And in the actual operation in Shadow of Chernobyl, the military only gets there towards the end of the assault. But at this point, the emission is already brewing. But we don't see the start of the emission of the blowout in the Strider trailer. So
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
we don't
know
see
if
the
it's
sky trailer
taking
yet.
place. Yeah, I don't know if it takes place before or like at the beginning or at the end of the operation. Like the fact that the military is basically at the doorstep of the sarcophagus, it kind of looks like it's the end of the operation, but there's no emission yet.
I
So
wonder how Strider gets
I
out of
don't
there.
know about that.
Because if he's waking up on the rooftop, which the dialogue sounds like when he's talking about looking through the scope and shooting Papa Kev, um, like if he's waking up like from the brainwashing, what about the other monolith soldiers that are still brainwashed? Like, did he just walk away? Like, how did he get out of there? Like,
Yeah, I
because he
mean,
was
I
with
don't
his
know.
squad, like they could have linked up after the fact, or I imagine that they were all fighting together when the brainwashing broke, and maybe they all like scrambled together. But I don't know if maybe those details
Yeah,
are that important. But now that we're getting like this
yeah.
flashback
Ac-
scene,
ac- Yeah, actually, it's important. Like, I don't know. Like in Call of Pripyat, it sounded like they had woken up, like in Jupiter, from the brainwashing, right? But in the Strider trailer, it looks like it was not the case. So I don't know. But there's also the theory that actually what Strider is saying is not supposed to match what is shown.
oh,
And that's
clever
kind of
trailer
a
edit.
brain twister, right? Yeah, but actually, yeah, there's this theory that the what Strider is describing is not supposed to exactly match the images on screen. So who knows? Um, so there was this small inconsistency, I guess. And then there's also the topic of what exactly stopped the brainwashing. Like, why did they wake up from this coma? Um, because basically, before I believed, and I think a lot of people believed, that the monolith was freed from the brainwashing only when the sea consciousness was destroyed by Strelok, right? Not before.
Yeah.
But it sounds like in the trailer, it sounds like they were freed when the brain scorcher was turned off. Because he says that's the day where when the sea fields were turned off.
That is kind
So
of weird though,
I'm not
because when
sure.
when you do that and you leave Yantar and then you go to the CNPP, at that point, why is the monolith still defending if they're breaking from the brainwash?
Yeah, that doesn't really make sense. So I don't know. Because actually Strelok disables three things. He disables the brain scorcher, then he destroys the like monolith hologram. So basically the monolith illusion, and then he destroys the sea consciousness. So I don't know at which point the monolith lost their link to the brainwashing. I would say only after Strelok destroys the sea consciousness. That's what I always thought, but
That's what I thought too.
I don't know. I don't know.
It makes the
But
most sense
actually,
when you think of like the whole final rush.
But do they actually know about Seacon at all? Like the Monolith? Strider couldn't possibly know about Seacon, right?
yeah, that's also true. So I don't know, but basically he says that it was the day the psi fields were turned off. So it still matches because probably Strelok did all of these three things in the same day.
The field still went down when Seacon went down, even if Strider wasn't aware that one led to the other.
Yeah, exactly. But then uh, in the rooftop scene, Strider would not be freed from the brainwashing yet because Strelok is still hasn't still
That's like in progress. He's still
like
getting
hasn't
to
destroyed C
the
consciousness
yeah.
yet.
He's
Probably.
still getting to the final
Yeah.
cutscene. He's still on his way.
So yeah, there's all these questions like that keep that I keep in my mind and I don't really have answers. We
You were
don't
gonna
really
say
know
keep you up
like
at night.
yeah. I mean, it's not to this point, but basically, yeah. So that's what I wanted to share. And actually, we all basically are convinced that Skiff is Monolith, right? I think we kind of all believe that now, but there's still people who told me that it's not confirmed and that it's still possible that Skiff is not Monolith, and that's because if he was a Monolith, he would already know what Strider is telling him. So it doesn't make sense for Strider to explain to him all of that, right? So from this reasoning, some people think Skiff is actually not a monolith.
There's a lot of theories
And
going around if
yeah,
Skiff is a repeat of Shadow of Chernobyl with the with Strelok's like memory loss, and that Skiff is going through the same thing. And even to play devil's advocate, like what people think they know from the leaks is just that and nothing more. That information could just be like a fake backstory, and
yeah,
I expect that because like from a Stalker game, and I think that's part of the magic of Shadow of Chernobyl is that everything comes back around in a full circle to show you something that you could not possibly have seen before. And with Stalker 2, I like the implication of that too. That there's more going on already than you really understand that you're being thrown into as the main character as Skiff. Like whatever Skiff thinks is going on is limited in comparison to what's already in play. And I
yeah,
think that makes sense because if they come up with a story where it's like rando guy goes into the zone for no reason or for, you know, a reason presented to him, money or otherwise, it's almost like a little bit too surface artificial. Like you want more of a mystical tie in for the story, like because everybody agrees, bro. Shadow of Chernobyl has the best plot out of the whole trilogy. That is the coolest fucking story. The structure, the delivery, everything is amazing. Call of Pripyat is running through the zone with your friends. The characters are awesome in Call of Pripyat, but the story is not as good. But the characters are
yeah,
terrific. You love the characters, but the story is like a hodgepodge of random shit going on. Whereas like Shadow of Chernobyl has the mystery and it really sets up like half of like the mystique of the zone. And if you're doing a mainline numbered sequel to that and you're making a Stalker 2, I expect that same caliber essentially from
yeah,
like from the plot, if anything. So I think, you know, people that are convinced one way or another that Skiff is or isn't Monolith, I think are not looking deep enough. I don't even think that's really the whole question. Like, what are his ties to anything monolithian? Because maybe he wasn't like a soldier who was brainwashed and woke up like everybody else. But what if there's more to the monolith, and that's where his ties come into play? Because I mean, he's definitely not your average Joe. You know, like Strider is opening up to him,
yeah,
and there's a lot more going on with that relationship that we can even see in the trailer. So I'm really curious. Skiff does not give me the impression of like an average Joe. Korshinov throwing him the AK. If we're gonna expect that Skiff's gonna sit there and just like put that shit all back together, then he's got some sort of like military background or otherwise. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
because
That's
random bandits and loners don't even have like that level. It's like just because you live in the zone doesn't mean that like you are a technician. Like you know what I mean? Like there's a
yeah,
difference between like a trained soldier who can like field strip his gear and just like the rando like double barrel wielding like bandit who's just trying to rob you for artifacts. Like that's what gives the diversity to all these people that live in the zone. They don't all have the same skill sets. They don't all have the same background. But what's being implied for Skiff's background implies that he is a much more experienced character than we're being led to be shown, if anything.
Yeah, and I definitely felt that in the demo, like in his dialogue. When you talk to Zorik about, Zorik tells you about this issue of the bandits capturing the boiler, because previously it was actually a loner base, but the bandits kicked them out, right? And basically, Skiff is like, and I'm pretty sure you don't have other options of dialogues. Basically, the only option is that Skiff says, I need to blow some steam off. I'm gonna take on these motherfuckers all by myself. Like, I'm pretty sure that was the only option, basically. So at this point, I knew that Skiff is special.
Have your pillow scared the shit out of me for a moment, bro. You bent over and I saw like a wolf dog on your bed. I was like, oh my god. I thought that was like a real
Woof.
dog. Like I thought it was a real animal for like half a second, dude. Like I was like, oh shit, he's got this epic ass dog.
If it helps you, the creeper isn't real either. It's a pillow.
So stupid. One part of the trailer that we haven't talked about is Dr. Dolan.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, because no one I feel or it got brought up, but I mean, a fucking super emission is confirmed with this trailer. That's a big detail.
Oh, yeah. I
And I
wonder
wonder
what
what that
effects it will
is.
have.
Yeah, like emissions were already intense. Like you wanted to get the hell cover immediately. A super emission, like what? How do you increase the danger factor from a storm that already pretty much killed you, unless you were just pounding away Cyblock?
Yeah, I think the impact will be more on the story than the gameplay. Uh, because,
That's true.
basically,
That's probably not
the,
something that just happens in the zone all the time. It's probably like a key story beat.
yeah, I think so. Because basically, the other super emission that we know about is the emission at the beginning of Clear Sky, and the whole plot, like, depended on that emission, basically. So I expect something to have this emission to have a lot of consequences.
These
I
cameos are
don't know
getting
what
out of hand.
exactly, but
We had Leon S. Kennedy
yeah.
on the rooftop in E3. We got President Zelensky in in Strider trailer. It's incredible. Everybody's in this game now. No, the likeness though to other characters or real people sometimes does fucking crack me up.
Yeah, now they need to put you in the game.
I would have a heart attack. It would be amazing.
The main antagonist.
Yo, let's go, dude. I want to be the crazy guy who like
Um,
flips the switch to blow up the zone.
but yeah, about Dalin, I mean, a lot of people expect the Circa to have darker motives than what is shown on the surface.
Skiff could be
So
from a
I
leader
don't
of the
know.
Cut ISG faction or formerly
Probably
part
like
of the
it
mercenaries
seems a
like
bit
Scar was.
too good, right? To have these big institutes, just everything is good. We're just studying the zone for the good of humanity. Like it seems a bit too good to be true, right? So
Yeah,
probably some shady things going on in the background, and definitely the idea of Darlin taking control of the anomalous energy kind of sounds like a bad idea. We don't
that
really
is
know
where I think
what
this whole
exactly he means by
reactivating the
that.
monolith ties in. I feel like it ties directly into that with harnessing the anomalous energy. Like I don't know
Yeah.
why. Like we know that the monolith has been away. They come back, so some catalyst happens for the monolith to come back. I don't feel like that happens by accident. I feel like that happens here in the Strider trailer, and Strider is essentially telling Skiff like, I didn't make this choice. You did to willingly be thrust back into this, and that's my theory so far. But like, where does that align with Serka's motivations as well? Because it seems like they could do the classic bad guy organization where you know the generic energy potential of harnessing the powers of the zone like could allow them to have any sort of like monopoly in like the world economic stage and become like a fucking super company. But at the same and they're willing to risk whatever it is to get there. I would like to see it if it was a little bit more nuanced, though. I want to see like different individuals in Circa have different motivations, and that's where like Skiff can be pulled into different directions as far as like how he treats whatever happens. But I think like, regardless of what you do as the player, Monolith comes back, so maybe it's something directly outside of Skiff's control. But I don't know. That's the thing is like I feel like they've given us enough of these story puzzle pieces for us to get very close, if not on the money with the truth. But we haven't quite. We've got all the pieces. Seems like PapaKev and Anomalous and I are having a hard time. Maybe you can put it together.
Yeah. And one thing is that we don't know from all the things that were shown in the trailer, like basically all the story elements. We don't know if these elements will always happen or if they only happen when you like do certain decisions, right? And actually, there's this theory that in the Strider trailer, some scenes are from a certain branch of a story, and other scenes are from a different branch of the story. And so we don't really know how these pieces fit uh, regarding that, because basically, depending on what the
That could be Skiff meeting up with Strider in
decision
like
the
two or
player
three
makes,
different.
the outcomes might be
Yeah.
different. Yeah, and we don't know from the trailers like which elements are part of which storyline and what decision. Like maybe everything they've shown will happen regardless of the decisions you make, but maybe not. We don't know.
Yeah, because they do cut the trailers up. Where that like the cutscene in the
Yeah,
game's not going to
they
play out
cut them a
exactly like
lot
that.
actually.
Yeah.
Like even the stranger in from the roof, and like not it's not just try Strider. Like if you take a look back at all the previous trailers, you don't really know if all these conversations always happen in the game or if they only happen if you take a certain route. Like even the conversations with like Doctor
Even the
Korshunov,
E3
I
rooftop
guess.
one.
Yeah, exactly. So who knows? We don't know, and we don't really have a way to know, honestly.
It is December 9th. We're almost halfway through this month. So if what we think is true, then within 2.5 weeks, we should have a whole lot more to digest, hopefully. Because I swear,
Yeah,
if we
hopefully.
get
To
into
that.
January with no new trailer, that's that's I just can't accept that. That's just not gonna happen. I feel like I feel
Yeah,
like
we'll
they're
see,
gonna
I
do the
guess.
same thing as Come to Me. They're gonna what the fuck is it on YouTube where like they don't release it but they schedule it and
Oh yeah, the
like they
premiere.
yeah.
Premiere.
Yeah, the premiere. Yeah, they're gonna schedule a premiere. Everybody's be like, "Oh shit!" They're gonna see the thumbnail for the video and know the date that it's gonna be shown, and then the hype is gonna hit fucking critical mass. Because that's what they did for Come to Me, and Come to Me was a massive trailer. They wanted you to know
Yeah,
that
but
one was coming. They didn't want to surprise drop that one like Strider. Like there's enough hype right now that like they could surprise drop anything, and it's gonna get a lot of eyeballs and attention. But like man, like E321 and Come to Me, those were like the most tremendous trailers. Not exactly like that many trailers, so I know I'm talking about half the trailers that we've essentially gotten so far. But you know what I mean as far as like the caliber of what
yeah,
they show. Like I would hope that they give us a heads up or something. I would hope.
yeah. I mean, the
I don't know.
premiere is a nice way to do it.
GSC's marketing is like two guys playing Russian roulette in a basement, and one guy wants to release information and the other guy doesn't.
It's a freaking mystery all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe one day we should invite Kresin to talk about it, but he said he's too shy.
Oh yeah, we're going deep into the schizo weed theories there. Oh my god.
um. Okay, so I actually have more things to say about Strider trailer, if you want.
Yeah,
They
sure. Go ahead.
they gave us 2 minutes. and
Um,
Anomalous is able to pull an hour or more of lore out of it, bro. Talk about pulling blood from a stone. What can this man not do?
You got me at the edge of my seat this entire time.
Dude, I'm learning more about this trailer today than I knew about the trailer before today started. Like, this is fucking ridiculous. I love this. Like,
well,
I
this
have
is
more
perfect.
theories, more to
That's the goal.
digest. Like, it's so good. I when I see a new trailer now, I'm like, there's before when I just see the trailer for the first time, and then there's post anomalous breakdown.
That's nice. I mean, that's exactly my goal. So I
Yo,
guess
Sector
it's
is with all the
working.
fucking gifted tier ones, brother. You rock, man. I don't know why the sound alert didn't
Nice,
alert me to that, but you rock, my guy. Community support.
nice.
Let's go.
Okay, so quickly about Dalin wanting to control anomalous energy. I'm pretty sure in the cancelled version of Stalker 2, from the early 2010s, I'm pretty sure there was some sort of plot point about exactly that. I'm not too. I don't know too much about this cancelled Stalker 2 version, but I'm pretty sure there was this idea of somebody trying to harvest the energy from anomalies. So I mean, we see that Stalker 2, that GSC is willing to recycle good ideas that they had for this game to into the new one, like the poppy field, for example. So I don't know. I just wanted to point that out. I don't know if you know more than me about this topic. Maybe Tommy.
I'm just thinking about Faust right now.
Oh, okay. I mean, we can talk about him if you want.
I got distracted. I apologize. Kept thinking about that.
It's fine. It's
I
fine.
was looking at the chair and someone had brought up the monolith chair, and I was like, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah. And actually, do you remember the device from the Come to Me trailer? You know, the thing that you called biblically accurate wish granter. You know what I'm talking about. I
Mm-hmm.
wonder if it has something to do with this controlling anomalous energy thing.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
if
could
it's
see
a
that
Circa
being.
related device.
I'll be back in a second. One moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does make me wonder. I mean, that was a major like visual drop. Obviously, there's no context for what it is, but that's got to be like a major spoiler. Like,
That has to be an important device for sure.
yeah, but I imagine it can't probably be shown too close towards the end of the game, or they wouldn't show it. So if I had to guess, like, what would that item have purpose over the general bulk of the story? It may my random theories would be it's possibly Dahlin is worried there's going to be a super emission. This seems like it's something outside of the realm of Sterka's control. The machine that we see is maybe what they're planning to use to harness the anomalous energy, and
Yeah, maybe.
it's gonna go bad, or maybe it's
Yeah,
a another type of Kaimanov emitter.
maybe. Yeah, I feel like it's probably something you will have to either destroy or disable as the player, because we can see it's a device that is. It looks like it's located in one of the X labs rather than in a
Yeah, it's
Circa
underground looking.
facility.
Yeah, it definitely
Yeah,
has like
and
the in zone feel, and it does look old, like Mosey is saying here. It
yeah,
looks
so
like it's
it
a
could
very
be
lived in type of device, which is weird because if that's the case, it's been 10 years. We imagine that there's no knowledge of this device existing until right now. So who made it? When?
yeah, it's definitely weird. I mean, it could be circa reusing old machinery from the X Labs days, and
True. There we do know there's
like
like going to be a
picking up
lot
the
more
research.
for X Lab type
Like
repairs.
they could be picking up the research where it stopped, from the X Labs and continuing what they had worked on. That's my theory, but who knows, honestly.
No, that's interesting to think about. God.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I have one last thing I would like to talk about before we talk about Faust, because I know you want to talk about Faust, but there's one last thing I'd like to mention. Is the fact that Strider mentioned, he said psi fields. We already talked about the psi, you know. I mean, I talked about it in video, and we talked about it in the Discord. The fact that he says psi
It will
instead
never
of
not sound corny to me.
psi or psi, but what I want to talk about is actually the fact that it's in plural. It says psi fields with an S. So there's like several psi fields, uh, and that's interesting to me because he
Well,
says
wouldn't that be kind of
that was
redundant? Because the S in fields is what pluralizes.
yeah, but I mean there's several fields, right? And he says that was on the day these fields were turned off. So several fields were turned off on that day,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
Multiple
Not
fields.
just
Yeah,
one.
yeah, 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 for sure.
So I don't know what this means. Like it could refer to the fact that maybe the brain scorcher generates several fields because it's five antennas. Maybe it's just that, or it's something more. I don't know. The C consciousness representative mentioned that they actually have a network of psi fields, and
Well,
that the brain scorcher is only one of them.
weren't those
So
the? I think
perhaps when Strelok destroyed the C consciousness, yeah,
those were the radiation fields though that were supposed to be designed to prevent anyone from getting to the center. Because the way that you
yeah,
travel up north, like if I'm not mistaken, that's the only way that you can get there. Because obviously they cut the generators because normally the generators would have been right behind CMPP according to old trilogy map lore.
yeah.
But all of that is just death, and I think it's just because of those artificially set up C conscious fields, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, definitely. Basically, that's their network to protect them from intrusions. But
Yeah.
they clearly say that the brain scorcher was just one of them, right? So I wonder if when Strelok destroyed the C consciousness, all of the other psi fields like disappeared.
This would be a really good way to explain things that are here that they
Yeah,
didn't talk about in trilogy, like the generators. Now that those fields
yeah,
went
that
down,
could be.
and without Monolith being around, maybe these structures. What if the we'll call biblically accurate wish granter like an emitter because it looks like it's an
Yeah,
emitter. I don't know what else to call it.
yeah.
Um, what if that emitter has some sort of relationship to the generators in particular? Perhaps that's even like the core that powers the generators.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it would fit inside the generators. I think,
There
like the
could even
shape and
there
size.
could even be multiple of those. You're right. That could even be the inner core of a generator.
Oh, that's cool. That's a cool
It's yeah. I mean, I doubt it's
theory.
correct, but
Yeah,
like
I like it.
I like theories. Yeah, like it's a good one. But I like seeing like just this magnificent display of like this crazy tech. I love the way that they visually designed that. It really draws you in. It has like that mystical look and vibe to it. I really dig that. I know they're gonna bring the whole Seacon back in some sort of new way. You know, it's obviously like Strelic destroyed all the chambers of like the original Seacon group, but that doesn't really kill the whole ideology of what Seacon was trying to achieve. And Sarah could easily just like slip into that old glove, so to speak. I really like
Yeah,
a lot of these dormant concepts coming back. Like this game franchise has been asleep for over a decade, and the plot reflects it too. Even in the game, they're explaining that it's been such a long stretch of time since like the previous games. So it's meta. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
both in the game and outside of it, and there's something that really draws me in about that. It's twice as immersive.
yeah. I mean, they will have to explain a lot because of this like long gap of time between the games. But I think they will be able to do it in a good way. and we'll see. I mean, I will have a lot of lore stuff to analyze when the game comes, so we'll have plenty of time to discuss this on the release. So
Is it
I
Faust time?
guess I basically said all the things I have. I mean, I don't know if I should still make a video about all of these points because I could develop them maybe differently in a more structured way. But that's basically all the points that I had.
Okay, so it's Faust time.
Yeah.
He's so fucking cool. I'm sorry. I love his character, dude. And, I mean, like, every time Sectorius like puts the copy pasta in the Discord, like I just like hear like the trailer voice lines in my head too. Like he just has so much impact and range with his voice. What a great character. But when he says I took just one step and my whole world plunged into darkness, I feel like I wonder if that is him like being anecdotal and saying that he took one wrong step and then he got brainwashed and then the darkness was like the
I may be
monolith
blind, but Para may be right.
was like the brainwashing washing over him, but he has the piece of the wish granter on the necklace. He seems like even without like the tether and the connection to the monolith, he's about that life, if that makes sense. Like I'm not really sure what his motivations are, but it doesn't seem like he opposes what happened to him in the same way that Strider does.
Yeah, so I don't. Yeah, I agree. I don't think him mentioning his word plunging into darkness refers to the brainwashing.
Like I may be blind, but it is you who cannot see, and he's saying that directly to Strider. We know that now. Like they don't seem to have they're not on the same page with whatever it is that they the way they cut these trailers is really hard to see like what the true context of the discussions that are
Yeah,
being
it's way
held
too
is.
cryptic.
It's very cryptic. Yeah, but for real. Um and then we see Faust in the Come to Me sitting in the chair and he's right in front of like that brainwash emitter that like you
Yeah.
see in Call of Pripyat. And I'm wondering if like if it's more of like a literary device for the scene or more of like a literal use to it, but I feel like Faust is going to be this wild card. I think you know what I mean? I feel like he has his own sort of like agenda outside of like whatever he's
Yeah.
going to lead Skiff onto. I don't
The
know if he's going to
G-Man
be
from
if
Stalker.
yeah, you guys got G-Man vibes.
Yeah, for me, yeah, I feel like ever since Come to Me, for me, it looks like Faust will try to get the monolith back together, right? For me, that's how it looks like. But yeah, as you say, it's kind of difficult to know the whole context behind these scenes. So maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I feel like about him.
Like the whole point of the monolith was to protect the wish granter, protect the center of the zone, to protect it from the tampering of mankind in general, vehemently so. So in that respect, I can kind of see what Faust is talking about. If you've got Serka doing some dumb shady shit that is about to throw everything into like a permanent jeopardy, whereas debatably the zone used to be stable when like the monolith had it locked down and the sea conscious was running things, even though it wasn't, because they created the rip in the noosphere anyway and all of the original bullshit to happen to begin with. And of course, but it was like their hubris that thought that they could you know get a hold of it and everything afterwards. But it seems like Serka is throwing so much jeopardy at the zone now that they think that the monolith is the answer to that. That's why they maybe want to like reactivate them. But then Skiff is fighting the monolith in the E3 trailer, and obviously Monolith has always been like an antagonist enemy. So like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I need to know. I need to know. This is keeping me up at night.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there will be different sub factions in the monolith. I guess, like there's Faust's group, Strider's group, and maybe others that you won't be really able to interact with except fighting them. That would be my guess.
I think I don't know if anyone else knows for sure because the cipher stuff I have like 4 different folders. It was hard to get all that stuff translated, but I'm pretty sure like Faust's group is Noon, and obviously Strider's group from Call of Pripyat is outside of that. So I think that there's 2 distinct factions of ex Monolithians, and so we know at least those 2 for
Oh,
sure.
okay. I thought Noon was Strider's group.
Or Noon is Strider's group. See, that's where I fucking get confused. Like
I'm pretty sure Noon is Strider's. I mean, you're giving me doubt now, but
unless they're both
I'm pretty sure.
fucking, maybe it's just like an internal conflict among them. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be actually.
The way the scene
I
is
mean,
set
what if?
up, it's visually set up in a way where you feel like the character came to see him and they're having an argument, but like they could just be like arguing within that area together.
Yeah. I mean, what if Noon is basically all the Monolithians that who lost their
Who
link
woke
to
up
the
from the
monolith?
brainwashing? Well, yeah,
But
and they
but
would be unguided, and Faust gives them leadership. Even
yeah,
without
and
the voice
actually
of the
the
monolith, he's the one who still keeps the voice of reason, so to speak, where he's
yeah
like, even
and
though I'm blind, it's you that cannot see, and it's because he feels like he still has that link and connection.
yeah, and in that case, it could there could also be other monolithians who did not lose their link to the monolith, and these are gonna be the people you see Skiff fighting in the trailers, right? Like basically still brainwashed monolithians. I don't know, maybe.
It would explain how
Who
the
knows?
center
Because
of the
in Call
zone
of
is still uncontested.
Yeah, maybe because in Call of Pripyat, of course, Strider's squad was freed, and you can see that the other Monolithians did lose their link because they don't receive orders anymore. Like they say, "Oh, Monolith, why have you left us?" and things like this. But they still fight for it, and there's still like the preachers, the guy with the Gauss rifle and stuff.
Yeah,
And there's also the mention that they are getting they are often getting reinforcements from the CNPP. I'm pretty sure one of the military guys says that. Probably um, probably Kowalski, but I'm not sure.
But Anomalous, you still actually believe that they are actually in like trends, like,
I don't know.
or are they just like confused stalkers at that point and just like fighting from what they're left that they're known for? Like,
I
what
think it.
defines this, you know, this trends?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I feel like maybe some of them are freed from the brainwashing, but they're just confused, as you say, and they don't really know what to do, so they just keep on fighting because that's the only thing they know. But it feels like some of them might have kept their link,
it
like
does make you wonder like where the discretion
those
is as far as like
who
why
still
would
pray, like the preacher.
yeah, like why would the
I
link be
always,
broken for some of them but not all of them? Is that directly related to like were all the psi fields brought down, only some of them, and
yeah, I always got the feeling that in Call of Pripyat they all kind of got to their sanity, so to speak, but they're like too uncomfortable to confront it, rather. And that's why the preachers like go in and they like give the orders, so to speak. That's how I like, you know, thought it went.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. That's also how I thought it was for a long time, but now with these Stalker 2 materials, I'm not quite sure anymore. Like everything is put back into question. We don't really know what's real or not anymore.
that's why I like Sectora's comment here. Watch GSC make the biggest
And they might
bamboozle ever.
actually also like
They make Faust the anti-monolith one, and Strider having a hard time finding purpose, so he wants back to his old Seacon ways. Oh my god, what a twist! I feel like that's the best part. Is as much as I feel like we're starting to get a sense of a picture, I have no fucking clue where this story is going yet.
It's kind of the charm of it.
Yeah, I want that. Like, I want that final twist to come right at the end. And I think they're smart. Like, despite leaks, they didn't make that part yet. They do that at the end. Like, I feel like that's like a classic Valve thing. Half-Life does this. Every Half-Life, even Half-Life Alyx, where like everything comes together in the 11th hour when it comes to the plot and the ending. Like, they literally brought John Pinkerton to rewrite the ending, which originally was not going to be that great, and turned it into a fucking masterpiece. Like, you can tell when like the product's coming together, if it feels right or not, and then at that point they can address it and be like, all right, like what really needs to happen here. But I feel like the story for this game has been set in stone for like a long time. Like, all the plot details about it, like, and even when it comes to like what's been like leaked or discussed, like they've had this idea of Stalker 2 in its current rendition since 2018. They know exactly what they were making since then. Whole time they have like a very clear vision for it. I think they're really just trying to achieve the technical bar, and that's like the most laborious part. But the story and all that, I think that's why we don't get trailers and we don't get shown much. They just don't want people to know what that's all about yet. Because day one, when the game comes out and we're all playing it for hours and hours and hours and hours straight on end, like, I don't know how long the actual core plot is going to be, but like, like the cat will be out of the bag, so to speak, at that point. People are going to finish the campaign relatively quickly. They don't want to feel like they overextend their hand before the game even comes out in that department. Or maybe I'm just huffing that copium and I'm just giving the marketing department every pass in the book right now. They're like, hell yeah. Like, keep talking, Tommy.
No, I feel like it's actually right. Like, I also feel like they don't want to show too much. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but they are purposefully avoiding showing certain things and actually reusing certain things in different trailers. For example, we've not seen Snorks so far, but Bloodsuckers
Yeah.
have appeared in several trailers.
Dogs,
So
bloodsuckers.
I know Snorks are gonna be there. Like, let's be real. There's no way we don't get
Like,
Snorks in
so many
Stalker 2,
enemies,
right?
Beerers,
But they,
chimeras, I mean, we saw Poltergeist,
we
but
saw the Bureau as well in the at the
okay.
end of the Skiff teaser.
Oh, I mean, barely. But yeah, you're right. That is a tech. Yeah, because
Yeah, barely,
he
but
eats
he
it.
was there.
He's like, there's like
But,
it's
you know
one
that
shadowy cloak frame, like all blurred with motion blur, 30 FPS. Confirmed. Like, I mean, yeah, it is him. You're right. I can't even argue that. But I'm like, I would like to actually like be able to like see him.
yeah, see it in detail. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, even with things that the people who've played the previous games know will be there, they're not showing it. And probably from brand new things that we don't know about, they're also not showing a lot. Like, and I mean, it's kind of cool because we will discover a lot of new things we didn't know, and it avoids spoilers, right?
Even for the amount of
But at the
anomalies that
same
we've seen.
time, it would be nice to see a few, like, see a bit more. So I don't know.
Yeah, like that
Um,
the one anomaly where the cars are being crushed and stuff like that. Like, they've shown us like a little bit of some new stuff, and then they tease like E3 2021 when on the rooftop scene in the background you can see like that one house fire anomaly that like has like the rock
yeah.
bits like from the cinder block or whatever like floating in the air. That obviously was like pretty badass looking and not something we had really seen before. Like, even screenshots, man. Like, the screenshots that they had shown us before were so good. Like the one with the windmill, I think that's like one of the best screenshots that out of everything
Oh
that they've
yeah.
shown us so far. The windmill screenshot is insane. Like, if they gave us 4 screenshots like that again to chew on, that would be nice. Like, it doesn't take much. I mean, granted, we get something. We already got new Strider trailer and we're like, that was great. You got any more? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're always gonna be ready for whatever comes next. But I mean, like, Jesus, like, 4 screenshots. Come on, 4 screenshots. Just and every time they show those screenshots, the graphics fidelity is off the charts. because they don't have to like
Yeah.
set it up like a trailer. Like they can show you what like
Yeah.
the peak fidelity, regardless of how the game is running at that point, will look. And it's like, yeah, can I see that one more time? Because it's been like almost a year. Like, Jesus Christ, it's been like, I think it hasn't been like a whole ass year since we got those screenshots. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. This game comes out in like 2 to 3 months, and we're talking about like 4 screenshots from a year ago. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's how deprived we are.
Yeah, like, and then
But-
the only other batch of screenshots really that was the PC Gamer ones, which were awesome, but those were literally from 2 years ago. The Copium is tremendous right now that I am on. I'm on like the highest quality Copium caliber right now. Just one more trailer, Daddy GSC, please. Just one. Come on, for the end of the year, just smash 2023 out of the park. Just give me Come to Me Part 2. Mullet watching this video. Best I can do is a Stalker trilogy discount on Steam. Oh, the pain.
I mean, do you actually think Monolith or other GSC people watch this, or
Who knows? We like to tease. I think we always use Mullet as our like as our scapegoat. Like if anything happens, it's like, oh, Mullet's working on the models right now. He's literally just like our PR man. We're just like, oh, Mullet's working on that engine code right now, you know. That's why we're waiting on this one thing. I think that they watch. I feel like it's 50-50. I feel like there's a possibility that they do. But they never address it. They never have acknowledged it. So I'm gonna go ahead and say no. I'm gonna pretend they don't see it all the moments I'm out of pocket.
I mean, for them, it has to be quite entertaining to see us trying to figure out the puzzle, put all the pieces together, and be completely wrong about
they know damn well. Yeah, especially when we're like we're talking about shit like the radio. We're like, oh yeah, that sounds pretty accurate. They're looking at like the March 21st date, like, yes, February 15th, my children. Like.
Like they're either be laughing really hard or really cringing a lot.
So good. No, they. Oh god, that would be amazing. Nothing would be funnier than if they did like one of those like dev behind the scenes things, and it's just them reacting to our shit. And like while they made the game, like right towards the end, it's just being like, you know, we love watching and keeping up on our community. I would be watching that with like the blushest red cheeks. I'd be like, oh no. I'd be like, oh no, I can't look. That'd be so funny. Now, if they're in my Discord, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Unhinged. That's what happens when we don't get 4 screenshots in a year. I'm curious. I am curious because the last time that I had both of you guys together, when we were talking about our levels of optimism for the game, Kev was down on his optimism levels. He was like, "I love this shit, but my hopes are calibrated low so that I can only be like happy." And I was like, "All right, smart." Anomalous, you were still riding high. I'll say you played the fucking game, so you got to be like riding like to the moon right now. You're the luckiest out of everybody. You've played the most modern, up to date build of Stalker 2. Holy shit, the absolute luck for that one. But Kev, what would you say that you have?
I have actually gained a tiny bit more hype. Actually,
let's go!
Looking at it, I just wanted to be. I just wanted to be really good, you know.
Let's go! What up?
I want to believe.
What up?
I really hope, dude. I really fucking hope.
What's happening to him? He's beginning to believe. So good.
Man, I really hope.
Yeah, I was also skeptical for a long time, but not anymore.
But he goes, but not anymore. Uh,
But
any predictions
but
for multiplayer? It's been a while since we talked about multiplayer.
oh yeah. I feel like it's probably gonna be quite similar to how it was in the originals. Maybe with a bit more polish, some twists, maybe about the game modes. Like capturing artifacts would be a pretty interesting game mode, like different from how the other FPS games are made. But I would say it's probably gonna be similar to the originals, like basically deathmatch and stuff like that. Team deathmatch, I guess.
Dude, imagine if they bring in firefight or something, like hold the
That's what,
line.
yeah. See, because the technical limitations now are far less than they had before. So even if they use traditional modes, like, all right, well, what does TDM look like? Is that 8 versus 8 or is that 32 versus 32? Do you throw mutants in the middle of that? Like, that would be amazing if you had a, like, yeah, you like
That'd be so
there's
cool, dude.
really easy ways to incorporate a life into that and then really mix things up a bit. Or it could be like, dude, if I were designing multiplayer, I would have a mode extract crew glove. All right, and you got one team trying to get Kruglov out, and the other team plays the mercenaries, and like you set up your little ambush points and whatnot,
Like
and you,
VIP, basically.
yeah, exactly, like a VIP extract. That would be fucking awesome. Like it all fits the lore and everything. You can set it up where if you really do want to have like a train style map where like you're going down a specific lane, you can have that, or a more wide open map so you can have like a variety for a deathmatch. That would be sick. Or in deathmatch, whoever starts winning, what if it's like a gag on Call of Duty where you can call in a kill streak and you just call in like a fucking chimera or something like that. Like and it just goes like you can have like silly ass modes
Technical
too.
camera.
Yeah, it would be like a public like a silly public mode or something like that. Like you could just do so many things that
I'd be on for a VIP mode, like with a playable crew glove.
that'd be so much fun to actually do like multiplayer videos for Stalker and like then you could have like real community engagement in the game. Like that would be
Yeah.
awesome. Or if
And
we were doing a VIP extract and Anomalous is the VIP, here we go. That's meta. We're extracting the lore master. We've got to protect him.
true
I'll get shot in
ecologist
the first
moment.
second by a monolith.
Yeah. And another thing that would be interesting, I think, in the multiplayer would be a mode where you play as humans versus mutants. Kind of
Yeah, like
like
Left 4
in
Dead.
Left 4 Dead, Because I know
Damn, that's
I don't know
smart.
if I'm the only one, but I've always liked the idea of being able to play as mutants. And there's
Yeah,
actually a mod for that, but it's not really
Jank.
finished. Like it's kind of jank, yeah. But I really like the idea, like playing these mutants because most of them have interesting features, like playing the Bureau, you could lift things around, throw at people.
It's fucking chat.
Uh,
Enemy snorks inbound.
They have
so
like a
that would
tiny little
definitely be
team
very
vest.
interesting.
Or a mode where like you go to Sidorovich to buy supplies and he's just scamming everybody. Like everybody has to go to Sid to get their stuff. Like it's like a kind of like a battle royale mode, but he's the trader. You get
Stalker Battle
research
Royale.
currency. Oh my god! Like that's the thing. You could totally have your serious modes, and you could have some modes that are just funny. Just fuck it, they're fun. They're really just fun. It'd be so silly. No
Yeah, I
BR
mean,
mode. Nah, I think they could do it in a fun ass way, especially if it was like a Mario Party kind of way. Where imagine if like it was mini games. It was just a bunch of back to back Stalker mini games, like a playlist of mini games that and then at the end like you get leaderboard against everybody else.
It's like the fucking horrors of the zone, and then it's like
Yeah.
freaking Mario Party.
Hell yeah, it's so good. But that's how you make the multiplayer stay alive, dude. That's how you make people remember that shit and be like, I'm so down to play Stalker multiplayer. I'm trying to call in enemy snorks.
Like Mario Party, you have like these like dots you can stand on. There's like straight up a Sidorovich one.
Yes. Or even like the what the fuck? The arena. The
Oh
Oh
yeah,
man,
arena would be awesome. And they could kind of do it
1v1, bro.
yeah, where everybody's watching on the sides and and calling it out kind of thing. Like kind of how Call of Duty set it up, but good, but actually good. You know what I mean? Like taking taking
Yeah,
ideas and actually making them work.
yeah. And it feels like they are really focusing on the single player right now because they've all basically
sick.
only showed single player, right?
Oh yeah,
But
that's
that's
where all the polish focus is right now. But yeah, because multiplayer after the fact.
but that's the good thing because multiplayer will be after and they can keep updating it for basically years if they want. So that's really good thing to look forward to.
Yeah, I would really enjoy if they had like random like community events type of thing where it's like there's like a special game mode for like a week or something like that. You know what I mean? Like they might. I don't want them to do like a battle pass and get too carried away. But yeah, like special multiplayer events would definitely be dope.
I mean,
Snowball
there's
fights in the
already a
zone.
battle pass now.
Hell yeah. I would fuck so heavy with some winter maps though.
Actually, I wonder if we will get winter. That would be
Yeah,
interesting.
when they were talking about that interview and I got hyped, I think there was a few people who may not have understood what I was like getting at there, because like you could easily have an anomaly that has like a zone range that everything within that anomalous area is winter, where like
Yeah.
you're walking and everything looks normal, it's regular forest, and then all of a sudden there's a patch of winter section. You're like, what the hell? Like, why is nature suddenly bending in this way? and and being affected like that. So that could easily just be another anomaly. They could do something really unique and interesting with that for
The
sure.
Santa anomaly.
Yeah.
Now I was thinking about like the game modes, what you mentioned. There's like I don't know if you're like familiar with like Stalkcraft in a way, but there's like this like kind of the way of grinding. So if you like kill like a bunch of pigs, you get like a nest, and from that you get materials, and then you can like further on with like new weaponry and stuff.
Mm.
That could be like a really cool concept too, I think, for Stalker in a way. Kind of like an MMO-ish way. Then you
Right.
could be like less focused on the PvP aspect of things.
Like they wouldn't need the map. They would never have to have a multiplayer mode that uses the whole map because the whole map is too big. It's massive. But if you were to even take like 1/8 of the map, you know what I mean? Like just a good sizable chunk, you could come up with so many different like kind of sandbox multiplayer modes for that. Or
Hmm.
you could
Yeah.
literally just take 4 houses in Lemansk and create an absolute clusterfuck of a death match. Like there's really no limit, and there's so much different architecture in all the different areas where you could have like some crazy woodland shootouts, or you could have more dense urban combat, or you could even have people like shooting at each other on the Ferris wheel, like depending on like how silly you want to get. Like there's no limit for the potential. It's just a matter of what they bother to focus on delivering. Because yeah, like we know that the game's gonna come out and it's all about the single player. Like it's gonna be all about the campaign for a while. And at that time, once the game is out, they're gonna be like patching it and simultaneously developing the multiplayer. So by the time people are like not full, but they've been eating good on the single player for long enough, then it's a good time to go ahead and show the multiplayer, because if they did do it at launch, no one would pay any fucking attention to multiplayer.
That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I mean
I'm
the mod
I'm
potential Penguin is definitely there, and they did say like
Mhm.
that they support mods, but I think it's naive to expect the support like you would have. Like we were talking about the Shadow of Chernobyl Death Race mod. Like you can literally go right now and fire up Shadow of Chernobyl, go to multiplayer and look in the server browser, pick a Death Race lobby, and it will download all the files for you automatically and drop you in. It's fucking amazing. I don't think you're gonna get that level from Stalker 2. So like multiplayer mods that like, you know what I mean? You'd have to like seek out for Stalker 2. I think you could like obviously build a community to like play them, but I just want the best native support possible, if that makes sense. And if they do maybe build it in a way where they give like almost like Halo Forge kind of tools to the community so that you could come up with your own maps and modes and maybe have access to a life and like a little level editor that's all within game or something like that. I know that's a huge freaking ask, but like I said, this would be like post launch down the road. I'm ideally thinking of this through the lens of Stalker 2 is just printing money, and it's super successful, and now they have all this resource that they want to put back into the game. And so what are you going to do? Multiplayer and those DLCs that they planned, you know what I mean? So I don't think any of this is beyond reason. We
That'd be
know that
so
they've
cool, like a
confirmed
map
basic
editor for
modes,
that.
so I think the ones that are really special they're not going to tease yet. I feel like that we'll get a multiplayer trailer down the road, and that's when we're gonna be like, oh shit, and start to see like what they have planned for that. Because if the GSC's not stupid, if they thought that they were gonna like just release basic deathmatch modes in for a multiplayer post launch, they know that that's not gonna work in this modern landscape. Like, look how quickly people like cycle through multiplayer games. I think they're looking at it in a much broader sense, where they're like, no, we've got this engine and this platform that we've like spent all this time building up and investing ourselves in, and we can make a lot more content with this that's fresh and exciting for like a while. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna I easily see like 6 years of support for Stalker 2 before we start talking about like Stalker 3.
Yeah. I mean,
Stalker 3, holy moly.
I mean, Stalker 2 is GSC's like biggest
Just
project
daily
yet,
reminder.
probably. I
Motzi
mean,
is gay.
yeah, no,
And
actually,
Kresin is gay too.
100% sure. So they're not just gonna release it like this and abandon it. Like that's something they're gonna keep uh, updating for sure, right?
Clap is ultra gay though.
Out of pocket. This whole fucking chat. This is what happens. This is what happens when you don't get a gameplay trailer, like cannibals.
We're like desperate little gremlins just waiting for any information.
Shit, I feel like I fit that category though. I am a desperate gremlin, and I am hungry for information.
Honestly, just anything. I'll scoop it up at this point, dude.
Oh, the copium is so good. It's so good. Dude, I just need to get like helium balloons every time like we start coping. I'm just gonna like huff on some helium. Oh my god. What is your opinion, question for both of you, as far as like the trailers from E3 all the way to now? Do you think that the fidelity is overall just gotten better? Like I would say the Strider trailer for characters, that's a good step up.
I really liked it. I don't know. I cannot really judge quite yet because it's not out yet, and I really want it to be good, but I don't know. Maybe Anomalous knows a bit more.
Let's not talk about bolts and bullets, right? So Strider.
He's like, the trailers go like this. Dude, I feel like Bolts and Bullets is gonna be like that inside joke long after the game comes out. Like when talking
I mean,
about
even
trailers.
GSC doesn't seem to acknowledge it.
They try to skirt that one. I mean, I feel like all the content that was showed in the trailer was awesome, but just the way the trailer was packaged together was like, damn son, who let the 13-year-old intern like get on OBS, dog? He like fucked the encoder up. Like, what the fuck? He recorded it at 24 FPS. What? Geoff Keighley needs a trailer in 20 minutes for the stage. Ah, shit! Like, just fucking like print it and ship it. Oh man, imagine if we get like a new upload. We're like, oh shit, GSC uploaded. It's Bolts and Bullets like remastered.
Bolts and Bullets too.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, but you know, it's kind of sad actually that they didn't put it in the, because you know I say they don't acknowledge it because they updated the press kit and bolts and bullets is still not in there. But it's kind of sad because when you do videos about about Stalker 2 and you put the footage, you've got like the footage from all the other trailers that you have like in full quality because they are in the press kit. And then there's footage from Bolts and Bullets that you had to download from YouTube. That is,
Yeah.
and you clearly see the difference in quality, and all the haters are like, oh, the downgrade. So it doesn't really play in GSC's favor, I would say.
Oh my god. Yeah, the day that Bolts and Bullets went up and the public discourse shifted so hard. That was so rough. I was like, "Oh, come on, man. Like I'm fucking hyped up right now and everybody's like, "What the fuck is this shit?" And I'm like, "Dog, this is what happens when you run OBS out of the box. I don't know. This ain't right." Like and it's such a shame too cuz you've played the demo firsthand and like you've said it yourself. You're like, "Yeah, that thing was running like perfect. They had us on 4K
Yeah.
monitors. Like it was kicking ass and taking names." Like BAB was a great trailer that just did not have the right frame rate. Like cuz I was editing video for it and I had it next to the E3 2021 at 60 FPS footage and I'm like, yeah, like the fidelity of the trailers you could argue, but like just the frame rate is definitely not the same. Even though this they both say that they're 60 FPS trailers. I'm like this isn't actually 60 FPS or it's not paced correctly cuz it was jittery. I'm like it they knew they were going to be going to the Gamescom show. That's where like the marketing is a fucking mystery, because they could have, like Spartan Mosey could have gotten a trailer ready for that show, like if within like a week with whatever build that they had. Like it was so odd. It really felt like they threw that together at the last minute. It was weird. I still like Bolts and Bullets though. Please update the press kit. Please give me the
Yeah.
soundtrack from Bolts and Bullets because the audio is the shit. That's the
Oh,
one
yeah.
thing they never miss. Like the audio design for every trailer is still perfect.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. The audio was crisp, and we still need those OSTs. Like
I'm dying for the chorus.
they could
Yeah.
release that. They could release that. Like how much work is that? Come on, GSC.
And they were doing good. 108 bits of the zone. We were getting like
Oh
full
yeah,
ass song uploads for like a while there. And that's how marketing used to be different with them. They gave us something. Remember those the Instagram photos that showed like the the parking the parking garage or whatever, like the bandit camp in the beginning of Shadow Chernobyl, like before the 1986 incident, like when they were in, it was all in engine though. When they were showing us the materials and stuff, like there was a lot of really badass teaser stuff that they used to give us. It felt like they were, even in the early days of putting the game together, they were like less shy about showing it or what they
yeah.
had. They're like, well, we can't obviously give you like trailers and stuff like that. We don't have that ready remotely yet, so we'll give you 108 bits of the zone, stuff like that. Give you an idea of what the game is. Then it just, oh my god, like the dark days, like of just nothing for a long time, where it's just Monolith faith and nothing else.
For real, actually, damn.
Yeah. And actually, I wonder how big the whole soundtrack for the game will be. That's a question I had for a long time.
Yeah, the Pripyat
Because the
Underground theme
game
was a good one too.
because the game is gonna be massive, so probably there will be a lot of tracks as well. Uh, and they said when I interviewed them, they said there will be a lot of different style of musics as well. So I really wonder how big the soundtrack is. I
Well,
guess
what
we'll
did they
see.
say? The final game is supposed to be like over 200 gigabytes. Probably a lot of music.
Yeah, I mean in the requirements it's 150, I think.
I think that's the Xbox version though.
No, I don't think so. I mean that's
Was
what's
that on
written on the
Steam?
website.
Oh, but those are the old ones. That's like the E3 2021 system requirements, right? Yeah, they haven't updated those yet.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm still waiting for an update to get my PC. GSC, if you're
Because
listening.
I think it was in interviews they said that it depends on platform, because I know it was between 180 100 it was 150, 180 and 200. And I'm pretty sure like 150 was Xbox, 180 to 200 was the range that they were shooting for the PC, because they didn't have a final size projection, which makes sense because the project was pretty far away. But yeah, the hardware requirements update needs to come. I mean, especially like because the game is Q1. Come on, like you should have an idea of what is needed. If it's already running good too, like you should be able to like.
Yeah, or maybe the old requirements are still good and they won't change it, and we will wait for an update forever. That could also happen.
If you tell me that the recommended requirements of a 1080 Ti is still recommended, then this is the most optimized game on the face of the planet. Like, holy cow, yeah, it really was a year and a half of straight optimization. They're like, every fucking blade of grass has been poly optimized. Oh no, Sectors, don't start with that El.P.E.R.O. shit. Don't start telling me it's not Q1. I have huffed way too much copium today to wrap my head around the headache that is a later than Q1 release date. Dude, if we get another trailer and it just goes to Q2 at the end, oh my god.
Nah, it's not gonna happen. Come on, Tommy.
I
It's not gonna
know,
happen.
I know. I can't. I hate it. You know. You go through it too. They bring it up. They get in your head. They start doubting it. I need to.
Yeah.
Monolith. Why? Why are you so quiet, Monolith? Your voice, Monolith. I need it. It's reassurance. Oh, Monolith. Why do we not hear you? Why is El.P.E.R.O.'s voice drowning you out, Monolith? And El.P.E.R.O. synonym for negativity. El.P.E.R.O. is the synonym for delays. If you hear El.P.E.R.O., it's like every time you hear the word El.P.E.R.O., Stalker 2 gets delayed by another year. It's like every time calls like Gabe Newell Fat Half-Life 3 gets delayed another year. We fucking love Pero, but his Nostradamus shit has been a little bit too on the ball over the course of time, and that kind of spooks us. We don't like that. So now we have to tease the shit out of him. Please be wrong. Please be wrong. Oh my god. April 2024. Oh my god, if it ended up being April 2024. If it just comes out in April, then Pero was right. Doesn't even matter what year it is. It'd be ridiculous. Should give him a free copy. He'll end up guessing the exact date. We should just see like what his specific date guesstimate is. Anomalous, when are you gonna pull the trigger on a new PC? Are you really just waiting for the requirements update?
Well, I guess so, yeah. And the release date as well.
You don't want to overbuild if you don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I could just go for the biggest thing I can get. I mean, I'm ready to pay. It's Stalker 2. Come on, like,
Yeah,
doesn't
Tommy,
matter
didn't
how
you
much
say
it
you had?
costs. But
it's smart
Didn't you
though, because
say
if it got like delayed and then new hardware came out, like that would be I get you. I get you. You want to get like whatever is available right when the game is gonna come out.
yeah,
Didn't you
and
say you knew someone that like built the PC parts though? Like the custom
yeah,
PC
yeah,
parts.
so,
I didn't
yeah.
forget.
I'm probably gonna get some help. Yeah, because I don't really know what I'm doing
I can help
with
you pick
building
PC parts
PC.
too if
But
you'd like.
well, I will try to do it with someone I know, and if I need help, I will ask. I know
Yeah, sure, anytime, dude.
what to ask
If I get
when
to see
you guys are
more
here. So
videos from you.
In
of
before
course.
Stalker 2 Anomalous Dugout new build lore video. The lore of the new PC. Fuck yeah, I'm ready for that. I'll pull up for that Digital Foundry video. The breakdown. Oh man, I actually can't wait for Digital Foundry to come out with a Stalker 2 video when the game comes out. Like their level of detail for like technical showcase is so good. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, I hope they give it like 30 straight minutes. They've never even done like a retrospective of the old games. Like, and I know Alex Battaglia has talked about wanting to do that, so I'm hoping they do like some sort of Super Stalker special because fuck, they deserve it. Like Stalker has definitely been like the bedrock of like technical showcase, even as far back as 2007. So it definitely has a spot on three.
Yeah.
So other than the Strider trailer,
So apparently,
and
I
the
will have
lack
to
of
count all anomalies in Stalker 2.
yeah, yeah, you're screwed if there's dynamic ones.
I mean, I still need to finish Clear Sky, guys. Come
Oh my
on,
god, can
give
you
me a
imagine
break.
if the dynamic anomalies were in there and he's trying to count them and they keep moving around even when he's flying around with the dev cam? He's like, wait, fuck, if this one's there, oh shit, he's like flying around like trying to like put pins everywhere. Oh my god, that'd be so funny.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to count them in the demo, but my timer is limited, so I couldn't.
I can't wait because I want to do like meme videos and like all kinds of content using the new engine and everything with the demo cam.
Same.
Like I'm really really excited for that, but I'm a little sad too because I'm like, but I still have like trilogy content that I want to make too. So I'm like worried I won't have enough time to get it all done before the new game
Oh
comes
yeah.
out. But once it
You
I
know,
does,
mean, there will
the,
always be a fan base for the old too. So
yeah, and I'll probably always like sprinkle in a little bit of old engine content.
yeah, my list will never be complete.
Thank God for that. How many videos? You're up to like 140 videos now, right?
I don't even know how
Oh, I
many,
gotta send you a
but
screenshot, dude. I saw, I think it was on the Facebook, the 100 Rads the other day. It's the Giga Chad guy, but like someone put like the texture of like the bandit and like the mask like PapaKev's wearing right now with the S74 AK. And the caption is "Hello and welcome to the Anomalous Dugout." And it's like every time I watch a new Anomalous video, I was like, this is so good, dude. I took a screenshot immediately. I was like, oh, I'm sending this to Anomalous. He'll love this. It's him.
nice.
Dude, that's the shit. Like I love seeing Anomalous Dugout memes. You're the only one I know that gets memes.
Yeah, I don't know where they come from because usually I don't really see them. So somebody has to make a compilation.
Oh, that's worthy of a video. The lore of Anomalous Dugout memes by Anomalous Dugout. that's super meta. It's fourth wall breaking.
Yeah. Maybe for the 1st of April, April Fools.
There you go. There you go. Well, shit, I think we covered like about all the topics that we wanted to get to. I mean, sadly, TGA really blue balls the shit out of us. I was really hoping that we were going to be able to talk about a brand new ass trailer.
Yeah.
Oh well, it would be totally typical GSC for them to just drop the new trailer tomorrow.
Yeah, like sorry we couldn't get it done for TGA, but here it is.
Yeah. I wouldn't even be shocked. The minute I saw the thumbnail, I'd be like, God damn it. All right, let's go. But 2 weeks isn't too bad to like wait and see if we're gonna be mega sad or not. There's no way, dude. Boys, they're not gonna let us be sad on Christmas. They're not gonna let us be sad. Come on.
Yeah, I mean there will be something,
they're not
but
gonna pull the cringe on us, right?
They always
maybe not the trailer.
they've always posted at least something.
Yeah, I expect something, but probably not a trailer. I don't think so, but we'll see.
Best I can do is a 50% off trilogy discount.
Just play Cossack.
Oh my god, yeah, Cossack. Let's go. Remember to buy the battle pass to have cool stickers on your exoskeleton helmets. Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus.
Oh, we've yet to see the exoskeleton actually.
Yeah, they never showed an exo, not once yet. Although
That's
that
one of the things they don't want to show.
I want to see the
Because
vodka bottle attachment that they showed in the art book.
Oh yeah.
Like, cause if that is the way that they work around eating and drinking through masks, is just to have like a generic tube attachment, that would be hilarious. I approve that. And if not, it's even funnier that it's just in the art book and then not in the game, and they still just drink right through the mask, like they just keep the old shtick. It'd be awesome. Should we do some final community question wrap up?
Yeah.
Sure.
Gentlemen, the floor is yours. You can ask us whatever you like. We did get like that one China interview was really good. Other than that, it's pretty
Question
much.
for you all.
Yeah, it was
You
nice.
think we gonna get remasters or remakes for OGs?
I feel like that's a yes, but that's so far down the road.
I'm still not convinced this is happening.
Well, at a minimum, I think that they will come to Xbox. Whether it's a port.
I do think there will come a port for Xbox. They already had like this
Well, it
Xbox
leaked.
version before
Yeah,
leaked.
it leaked. I have it. I have it. It's literally the
Wouldn't
PC version with native Xbox controls, and they
that'd be
actually
silly for them not
they
to do
changed
it.
some of the AI behaviors around slightly, ever so slightly, barely, but they did
Like
some,
less
like some
Gooby
weird
or
code.
what?
Yeah. They were trying to like make things a little bit like, God, how the fuck do I even describe it? Less running into walls. You know what I mean? like less Half-Life 1 scientist behavior, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I get you.
Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah, the pathfinding seemed to be like ever so slightly more on point. And then there's some different inventory adjustments that they made and like minor UI element changes and stuff. Like, and it's official GSC. They had acknowledged that was an official thing that they were working on. So I wonder if, because if we go off of that, then it's going to be a port, you know, which
It's
okay,
definitely going to be a port
I would
over a remake.
yeah, exactly, because then you're gonna have like the purists who are like, oh well, the people that are playing these remakes or remasters on Xbox are not getting like the OG experience, and they're not seeing the original artwork and the original everything. And like, fair enough, whatever, that's fair. They should have access to the original versions, but if there's money to be made, expect UE5 remakes if like the series starts selling like bonkers and there's a shit ton of demand for the previous games on Xbox. It'll definitely happen. I mean, how could it not?
I think there will be fan remakes first, though, like from Shadow Chernobyl, Clear Sky,
On
etc.
PC? Oh yeah.
Yeah, on PC definitely.
I could, yeah. Definitely would way sooner see that. That would look
I'm
awesome.
really hyped on seeing that. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, especially because Call of Pripyat looks like dog shit out of the original trilogy without mods. Like, oh yeah, if you're able to just put a fresh coat of paint on that, that'd be sweet. And it would be really good too, because obviously they would use all the assets from the new engine, but everything is designed with Stalker 2. So a lot of the assets might be like Skadovsk, for example. If you were going to remake Call of Pripyat and you use the Skadovsk model from Stalker 2, it's going to look older than it was in Call of Pripyat. So modders could still update that by using assets to make them look, you know, like they did in Trilogy, but higher quality, and it would blend perfectly with the new trees and dirt and grass and all that stuff for the most part. So
I'm just really happy it's gonna be Unreal 5 for that reason.
yeah.
I don't know. There's so much potential still. Like I've never been gloomy about that part.
Yeah, no, for sure. I got a question here. How fast do you think a Misery style mod will be made after mod tools come out?
Oh my god.
Fast.
Fast.
Yeah, especially because the game already seems like they're going for like punishing out the gate. Like mods to make it more punishing. That's not even a surprise. That's going to be on ModDB day one. Like the minute if it's anything as simple as like opening a user LTX file or something like that and just cranking like the values up on certain variables.
Tell me.
Yeah.
I'm actually waiting on a mod that actually downgrades everything in Stalker 2 back to the old models. That'd be so funny, though.
Damn, that's not a mod I would have thought of that now I do want. Yeah, the Stalker 2 demake.
Yeah,
that'll actually definitely come out just because people with potato machines. Yeah, just like they're like, well, I can't play the new one, but
that'd be lovely though. It's like a passion project.
Absolutely, I love that. Or Stalker 2 and Doom. Stalker Tomb Doomwad. I would play the shit out of that. Be amazing. Is that flashback from CMPP Strider, or can it even be Skiff? Definitely not Skiff. No, that's Strider. I mean, unless that is like really fancy trailer editing, where like that dialogue does not belong over that footage, and that really is something completely different. But not really, because Strider says, when I looked through the scope and shot the man, talking about shooting Kev over here, like that lines right up with the footage. So yeah, that was a war crime.
Don't like Strider anymore.
No.
No longer friends.
Friendship with Strider over.
I'm not gonna recruit him next Call of Pripyat run.
Lukash is my new best friend. Like.
Yeah, you know, seeing the Strider, like his new appearance, I actually thought about the whole Pripyat underground mission crew, how they would look like in Stalker 2, right? And that would be glorious.
Strider looks badass now.
Like,
Strider's
just
They're gonna
imagine
reunite, actually.
Just imagine Dektyrev, Zulu, Vano, Strider, and Sokolov in Stalker 2. Like,
Yeah, Strider
that would
straight
be
up had
dope.
sweet potato textured fucking face skin in Call of Pripyat.
Major Detective is still looking for the choppers.
Yeah, I remember the first time I played Call of Pripyat, I was like, wait, is 75% of this game really looking for like 6 choppers?
Yeah.
And it is. And it is. And the funniest part is, when I was at the beginning, I thought that was going to be terrible. And then when I finished the game, I was like, no, that was actually really cool. But that was still not what I was expecting. Like, man.
Detective loves his choppers.
Yeah, it was because you go through all kinds of other locations and stuff along the way, but like when you actually just look at like the most broad cliff notes of the story, you're like, yeah, so man just comes in, no elaboration, just finds 6 choppers, cool, like
Leaves.
talks to a few guys and leaves.
Finds balding man.
Dude, why S.T.A.L.K.E.R is like fucking Strudok in Call of Pripyat. He's like a shadow of S.T.A.L.K.E.R. Dude is like not at all as badass as he was in Shadow of Chernobyl. He was like this enigmatic fucking badass in the original, and then in Call of Pripyat, his voice sounds ridiculous.
It's just a bended voice from the English voice actors, but just more goofy.
Dude, yes.
He's like, he sounds like he could fall
shit.
like on a banana, like any time at that point.
Dude, I let him just trip on the way to the chopper at the end. There's like 1 or 2 times I extracted.
You ain't coming with me.
I was like, sorry, buddy. This is a canon event. Like, just
time to finish what the marked one wanted.
shit. If he is the guy on the rooftop, man, he clearly wished for more than just a new voice. He got the head of hair too. This song gave me a new life. If I was that corny and called Pripyat, I would do anything for the Zone 2 after that new life was given to me.
The shampoo model artifact he got.
L'Oreal Strelick. Oh my god, dude! Honestly, I gotta say, rooftop man, he's got better hair than GTA 6 woman hair.
Actually, yeah.
It was way more luscious and wavy. Like, come on, they can't
More
even keep up with GSC. Way more seductive. You can't see. You may not like it, ladies, but Strelick, this is what peak sexuality looks like. Svegda. Oh my god. They better not downgrade that shit. I swear to god, I'll be so upset.
I want this S.T.A.L.K.E.R physics to be there, otherwise I ain't buying.
That's right. I want every S.T.A.L.K.E.R hair strand, and it better be physically animated in game.
I want the mod for everyone to be replaced with this S.T.A.L.K.E.R model.
He better be thick too.
Dumpy.
Average Stalker community fan, and he better have a thick ass. Also, Stalker community. I'm totally not gay. Is it too much to ask for thick ass?
Nothing wrong with appreciating the manly physique.
This is zone sports. It needs to be accurate. This is Stalker culture. Feel like that snork got me about to act up.
That snork dummy looking quite bad though.
First mod is gonna be a snork strip club at the fucking Rostock. It's so good.
It's like the secret door from Sidorovich on the right.
Yes.
That's in some mods.
Have as a Bureau animation of just throwing money. The fucking snorks on stage. Oh man.
Mark the wall.
What the hell? Oh shit. Yep, we're down bad. We're clearly we've reached new lows.
Freedom tier, yeah.
Freedom tier memes right here. I can't wait to. I actually want to like make mods for Stalker 2. I never really made trilogy mods before, but I want to make the dumbest mods for Stalker 2 when it comes out.
I mean, it'd be more plausible with Unreal 5. The X-ray is like spaghetti code, so
Yeah.
maybe, who knows?
Yeah.
I have a feeling because they
Get
said
out.
basic tools on launch, so we should be able to at least replace like audio, do stuff like that. I can make my own.
Just replace every soundbite to Mark one. What the hell?
I know you want to make Get Out of Your Stalker 2.
Get out of your Stalker 2. Yeah, it's gotta happen. It's so unhinged that I don't know. I don't think I could do it alone. Tommy wants to have. Oh yeah. I mean the bloodsuckers, they need to be extra suck. Dude, I remember when Resident Evil came out and it was like the facial animations plus 500%, and they start like contorting and like going crazy and shit. Like I just want like Stalker 2 facial animations like 1,000%. Just fucking rooftop scene with like the face start distorting and looking all ridiculous. All right, shit. Well, damn, we've been going for like 2.5 hours. I guess we'll go ahead and we'll call it there. Now we're gonna rendezvous again right after the next trailer.
For sure.
Yeah.
We're gonna get
Of course.
both of these gentlemen back together because that is definitely gonna be when we start breaking things down again. Thanks for nothing, TGA. Geoff Keighley, you let me down, you son of a bitch. Not even 2 seconds. New footage, Jesus. But all right, chat. We're gonna let you guys go. Peace from everybody here. Good hunting,
It's been a real
Stalkers.
pleasure, guys.
I
Bye bye.